All right, let's kick this off. Back from round two, ladies and gentlemen. We got some lunch, and I am feeling good. Ready to get back on that grind, ready to knock out some of those bounties. Let's jump right in. You know what? I think I'm going to go switch the bounties. I don't know why I accidentally did this one. But I'm going to go take a look at it. We're probably going to go to a lower dungeon just to get some of these things done here. Oh, you know what? I remember where we left off. I really wanted to complete... I'll do it right now when I get into this next room. Really, so like look how close we are on fishing. And then mining will be next up. Fishing and mining. So those two go well together. But what? Oh, no, I was on this one. Runes. Let me see where I can find some of those bad boys. Give me a second while I pull it up, ladies and gentlemen. And I accidentally left the room. Okay, where we go here. Let's see. I always got to keep the bounty worksheet up. All right, we are heading to... Oh, no, wrong one. Go back. Here we go. We are heading towards Ashwoods or Trialwoods. Ashwoods or Trialwoods to finish this off. Neither one of those has fishing though. And I really want to get that XP. So let's see if there's another level one I could do. Okay, let's do that one. Skeletors and rocks. Yeah, we can get some Skeletors. Skeletors, we're going to Forgotten Chambers. Oh no, we're going to Trial Woods. What's the other one? Let's see, runes again and skeleton. Oh, so it just repeats. Okay, well, is what it is. Where we going? Ashwoods or Charlwoods? Okay, we'll just continue on, and then I'll probably jump back on. When I'm gonna go for the fishing, then we'll switch it up. Okay, so let me make sure I get the chat open here, so I can actually see you guys, because I'm not even paying attention right now to chat. So let's see. Here we go. The other one. Let's see. My bad there. Had to mute that. Where's chat? Gabrielle jumping in. Yes, I am back, baby. I'm back. I'm still working pretty hard. With tax season and everything, but we're going to be picking up the streaming too and getting ready for the next update that should be coming out, or at least the Easter event. So I just lost it. Where are we headed? Why do I have two of these open? Oh yeah, trial was or it was this one, or what was the other one? Or Arcane Pits. I guess we're gonna go to Arcane Pits so we can get both of those, but no, there's no runes. I guess maybe I have an old worksheet. I need to get the new worksheet. So I guess we're gonna go to Trial Woods. Anyone knows where I can get some good runes, let me know. F2P Gaming jumping in, Sane Slitton's in the house. That's what I like to hear, boys. Yeah, guys, where do we go? Where are we going for the... I think we're going to Trial Woods here, so we can get some runes. Get these bad boys knocked out real quick. I'm using the wrong one here. And the relics. Give me you. Okay, and then let me change up the pet real quick. What's one that I rarely... It's usually Lambo. I haven't used Lambo in a while. And then let me get a couple potions just in case. I haven't actually been to Trial Woods in a long time, guys. I'm talking about like when there used to be 3 different types of mining in there. Gotta go get those bounties done. Heck yeah, man. Let's see, 44 is 88, and 44 times 2 is 88, and then another 3 is what? It's gonna make me do 4 runs. I'm gonna be a little bit short. But that's okay, we can do 4 runs. Whoa. I guess I didn't even get my axe. Somehow didn't get equipped. How's your grind going? You already been knocking out a lot of those bounties? There we go. Change up the outfit too. What are we gonna put on? What are we gonna put on today? Let's go with a little. Yeah. There we go. I'm down. I'm down. Yeah, if we get all these bounties this week, we're gonna be sitting pretty to get that. To get the sand dragon. Ocean Nico. Okay, on there, my friend. Hope you're doing good, brother. Hey guys, do me a favor real quick. If you haven't hit that sub button before, we're gonna next goal for the channel. We need to get it up to 1,000 subscribers so that we can hit monetization and then be able to progress from there. So that way it'd be fun. We'll be able to make a little bit of hold a few little events, have a little bit of fun. You know, who knows how long it'll take, but we will see. Okay, here. Round number 2, run number 1. Haven't been to this map in a long time, so bear with me, peeps. There we go. Those are the guys I'm looking for. Gotta love it. What do you guys think? What's the estimated time? How long should I be expecting to complete this one on? I have no clue what to expect, to be quite honest. I thought the Lambo was an enemy there for a second. I was like, this thing's moving at 100 miles an hour. Well, that's the point. Let's change up the soundtrack here real quick. Putting me to bed. I just got started. I need something a little bit more up. Okay, who knows? We got some random stream beats going. Oh no, you don't, Lich Clown. You don't get to spawn nothing. Let's see. You doing good? Back to see you. Happy that I'm streaming again? Yeah, me too, man. Me too. I freaking missed you guys a whole bunch. Graphic Boss jumping in. Things drop aren't selling that much these days, right? Well, I mean, things are still selling. I know that there's been some, you know, there's been some conversations in the different streams about like which items are going to be a little bit more useful in game, and I've been noticing some of those prices going up. I know because I'm trying to buy a couple of them, especially the stuff I recently missed. You know, it's going to take me 4 runs. 46. There's 46. The worksheet I had 44, but I'm sure maybe it varies a little bit. 3 runs at what, 20 minutes a pop? I don't know how big, you know, the outside maps tend to be a little bit longer. I don't know how many minutes it's going to take. For the price of 1, always love that. Need to check out the Emporium for sure. Since I kind of already spent all my gold, I kind of just figured that I'm not going to be buying anything anytime soon. That's going to poison. Nope. Three runs if I'm lucky. Yeah, but I don't know how long these maps go. That's the problem. Yeah, not the problem, but just that's the curiosity I have. Necro Knights down for the count. The little minnow bats are... Oh, boy, I got stuck there. weird animation. Oh, so that runes are only a one hit? I didn't even look to see on the uncommons if some of them do more damage than than others. I gotta do a lot of homework to catch up. So many things I've fallen behind on. Okay, that guy's dead. Yeah, I like this. I like this music. It's always been weird to me when it comes to like the marketplace about I mean, obviously players value XP more than they value gold. That's why you have like so many people crafting something, selling it for cheaper than when it costs to make it so that they could just get more gold to craft more, you know? Because I was trying to look to see like you know, prior to the Easter event, I was trying to figure out, okay, I need to raise a little bit of gold now. Somehow I have 40k gold already, and I'm not sure quite how. Maybe, oh yeah. I think I sold some armor. Oh, that hit me. I'm surprised that hit me. Oh, I know I slept wrong with my neck. It's been killing me lately. Give me those hides. I wonder why the rune hide. I wonder why Cliff added that station to where like you turn the rune hides into, I don't know, the craftable items. Feels like an extra step not needed. That it doesn't give you XP, I don't think. Right? Can anybody tell me if I'm wrong there? I don't think you get XP for it. So I've always kind of wondered why he added that extra step. I guess it's more of a time sink. He wants to add time to the creation of the armor. Haha, missed me. What up, crew? E-Money's in the house. There we go. You know, in general, with each holiday event, how many new blockchain items do we get? Like 3 or 4, right? There'll be at least one skin. There'll be like 2 for the currency turn-ins. Then there'll be like 1 random drop, I guess. And then we get a bunch of virtuals too. So another year in the books. Can't believe we're starting the holiday event season soon. 2022. Lost Relics Easter. I mean, I hope it's still happening. I don't think we have a reason not to believe that it's happening, but just finished your grind. Finally got to level 9. Very nice. 2 stored adventures. Oh, stupid. Spider got me at the worst time. I think with a lot of these outdoor maps, when the keys drop, they tend to like drop them. They tend to like all the treasure chests be like the last few rooms of the dungeon. At least that's the way it is on Millith Forest. I wonder if that also applies here. I would assume that the dungeons that are going to change the most, or the adventures that are going to change the most, are going to be the outdoor adventures once the new patch comes. Leather Station and Shrink Station don't give XP, but both are forging stations. Yeah, they should give a little bit of XP, just a little bit. You know, maybe the same amount that it takes. Like, isn't it like 50 XP to like craft an ingot at the forge? It's not a lot, right? Where it's not a lot, but you know, it would help. Man, maybe I'm gonna have to go through my health here. I kind of have not been playing this. I've been playing it like if I'm running something I'm familiar with and getting hit too much. Oh, that was a bad move. Yeah, we're gonna have to burn some. We're at 2 keys, which means there's probably one more key left. Actually, I don't even know how many treasure chests are in the Green Star dungeons. Let's see. I was doing some math. I only got in 3 blockchain items in the past. Oh yeah. Here we go with the math discussions. Give up now, my friend. Give up now. Numerology is going to take you down a long path. I think GDC right now is also happening, the Game Developers Conference. I wish it wasn't at the beginning of the year, so then I actually might be able to attend. It's just such bad timing for me right now individually. Oof, that coffee's good. There's the 3rd key. So we have all 3 keys. Now we just got to get out of here. Let's see. I'm just wondering if I should drop some money into getting blockchain items so I don't risk losing everything when the maps get harder. More chests, yes, but more mobs in general also give you higher chances. Exactly. That poison damage you got to avoid. That's what's chunking away at me. Oh, I couldn't even see that node. Go ahead and pop that. Why not? Nope. Hit the poison damage again. Again. Haha, it missed me that time. Maps are more... Yeah, you know how it is. At the beginning of every single... Oh, that's going to hurt. Once a new patch comes out, so many things change. Drop rates are... I mean, you guys still remember, we got a patch in there that like... So many random things changed that like pets... The size of pets just like exploded. You know, they went from being super tiny to super huge, and that was completely unintended. That's funny. I wonder what this new one's going to be, considering how big it sounds like it will be. No poison that time. Probably just pop one of these potions. Since I haven't even found a chest yet, which means we're not near the last 3 rooms. I think with the outdoor maps, it's like literally the last 3 rooms. Chest, chest, chest in a line. And if I get locked in, there's the lock-in room. Kill you. I think these are one-shots. Yeah, they're one-shots. So I don't need to waste energy on them, which I have been. Okay. Hidden hero, blue hidden hero, Night Shiddler. Do the mystery rewards, the 7-day mystery rewards, have they changed? They're still giving scrolls, right? I mean titles, but like have there been new titles added? Or is it the same? Are we still pulling from the same title bunch? That's a good question. Because I didn't see where I don't know where he got that title from, that Transcendent title. So I'm guessing it's a new title, or it's a title I just completely didn't pay attention to. Okay, this will be a lock-in room, right? It's gotta be. There it is. I'm so not used to Lambo running around. I think it's an enemy. Too bad, not too bad. Too much spawn wardens in Isle. Now I'm thinking of changing because 1 month ago there was 5, maybe 4 or 5 warden spawns. Really, that many warden spawns for real, guys? I've been talking about how I haven't hit a strong box ever, and if that's where it is, that's, you know, I'll totally go over there. Definitely a lock-in room too. Event titles, same as always on the scrolls. Now maybe I'll keep these scrolls then, so that when new titles get released, I pop, 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 pop. In case anybody wants to see what titles I have unlocked, here you go. Missing quite a few, but got as many as we could. Oh yeah, look at all of those greens and uncommons. What did I drop? I dropped something. Yeah, these little beasts can like really trickle down your health. Oh, I'll just take that. Thank you very much. Warden seems really rare for you in caverns. I found like 2 wardens at Mount, but that was it. Okay, I'm not gonna fuck around. I'm just gonna pop this. There we go. Wow, that's a 1-shot. I just need a 1-shot. That's a 2-shot. Okay, there you go, there you go. Alright, now I know how to save. That's going to be 2 to pop it. And then 2 swings. 1, 2. I missed that guy. That archers are... Those Necro Knights are beasts, dude. Okay, here we go. So, treasure chest number 1. So then the next room should have 1 too, if I'm right. Yeah, there it is. And there's the final room. Okay, so it is the same format. That way I know. It kind of doesn't really give you a heads up on how far away you are. Can a boss spawn in Trial Woods? Because if it does, I just need to be ready to pop a potion in case. I don't, probably not, right? Because it's a green level Green level difficulty. All right. Done. So that was 46. And I need how many? 130 something? Let me see. What do I need? What do I need? What do I need? 132 divided by 46. That's 3 runs. Yeah, very nice. Okay, cool. And just conserve a little bit of that. And now I know exactly what it takes. So let's go on in. Bosses on epic or above. Okay. Bosses on all epics and above, or on certain epics and above? Dude, you know how good it would be if the freaking update could come like sometime now in March? It'd be perfect. I would be able to actually like super grind. Oh, yeah. Got a little bit of a headache kicking in. Hopefully it goes away. That's a one shot. I don't need to waste an energy shot on that. One shot, one shot. How many bounty, Slayton, how many bounty bucks are you getting a week on average? I'm assuming you're completing almost all of them a week. What's that number? I'm guessing it's like, how many bounties are there? Like 12? 12 bounties, I think. And you get at least 1,000 on average, 1,500 on average per one. So maybe that's like somewhere between 10K to 15K bounty bucks a week. I'm just trying to average out how long it's going to take to get the sand dragon. I got to kill you first. Actually, I should kill these little guys. I really screwed up there. Taking way too much damage. Pop you. Also, who are the new streamers lately that I haven't had a chance to watch? Who do you guys enjoy watching? Definitely need to jump in some people's streams. I was hanging out with Kingslayer right now a little bit while I was getting some food. He's streaming hard over there on Twitch doing his things. I really enjoy his streams because he's like super analytical in terms of the way he thinks and his, the thoughts he puts out. So I really like that. Definitely well appreciated. What am I getting right now? I'm getting wood cutting and scavenging. Level 25 scavenging. Congratulations. You know what I think I'm gonna do? You know what? While we grind this out, I think I'm actually gonna put a YouTube video on the background because I want to listen to the recent interview Cliff did with Engine. I think it was Caleb Applegate, the CEO over there at Engine. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. Here it is.
You can invest all your. Forget about like from a game.
Okay, let's check out these audio levels. Let me go turn the music off real quick. Let me know if you can hear this.
From this perspective, you can invest all your time into playing a game, and forget about like that blockchain is there and you can make money. That sounds a little loud, right? Just playing a game. You've spent hundreds and hundreds of hours, and at the end of it, you go, oh, you know what? It's been like 3 years.
That sound good?
I'm kind of done. I'm just gonna leave.
There we go.
What about if
Jay Meyer, Anasty, Spiz, yeah.
I've amassed.
Been checking all of them out. Yeah, that's really cool. They're doing really good. You're probably around 20k damage you've taken. Depends on the week. 20k. Okay, 20k. Gotcha. This week is cool. Awesome. Okay, so then yeah, 3 weeks. All right, here we go. So this is the conversation with Lost Relics, with Cliff, and with Caleb Applegate from Engine. Just going to be listening to it in the background, give you my feedback. Let me know if the audio levels are good.
And I'm Engine's Chief Operating Officer. You may not know this about me, but outside of Engine, I've actually been an advisor to top companies in the retail and gaming spaces, a Hollywood filmmaker, and a co-owner of one of the largest Minecraft gaming servers in the world.
Yeah, I need to do a little bit more research on that, on what Minecraft server that was, or the story behind it. Minecraft's one of the games I missed out on.
Each week, I'll be introducing
Devilish, what's up, brother?
Project who is building at the forefront of blockchain technology. Now, I'm really excited about today's guests. I'm joined by Cliff Colley, who I recently had the pleasure of chatting with during a roundtable at the VentureBeat Metaverse Summit.
Ooh, yeah. Let me pause it right there. That VentureBeat Summit, you guys. If you guys got free time, you should go check it out. They did a really good job. Actually, I'm like a super fan of VentureBeats now. Like, just talking about the gaming industry in general, because you should go check it out. They did a really good job of covering like blockchain, Web3 technology, and like crypto gaming, and like the ideas and philosophies behind it. Like, I was really, really impressed. You know, a lot of the traditional video game journalists are not into crypto at all, and you know, their mind's going to change sooner or later. But I think the coverage that they did was A+ coverage.
It's the founder of CodeBit Labs and the developer of Lost Relics, a free-to-play action-adventure RPG. Lost Relics has amassed a waitlist of over 130,000 players under his direction, with zero.
And I think some new players have been getting some emails to get in the game.
Hey Caleb, thanks for having me. Hey everyone.
Now, one of the first things that I do before we kind of dig into learning more about Lost Relics and your thoughts on the NFT space and the metaverse, I want to hear your story, man. For our listeners, like give us your backstory. What got you to the point of building Lost Relics? I want to hear about you.
Sure. I mean, I started, I was working in the video games industry for about 12 years, and that ended up falling apart here in Australia when the GFC happened in the US.
When the GOC happened in the US, I wonder what that means.
I ended up working for a friend's company, which was in the blockchain space called Ethereum, and we ended up doing rewards, blockchain rewards, basically for streaming and that kind of thing.
Chilling on a Saturday, gotta love it, baby. Me too.
Probably around halfway through that, I was keeping an eye on Engine, and I sort of seen that you released SDKs and a few other things, or gave access to early adopters, and I missed out for that first one. When Referendum ended, you guys had opened up the second round of early adopters, so I jumped in on that and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I haven't got anything else to do right now.
Yeah, baby, everything's good. Just getting ready for the next event.
On a new game, and that's kind of when Lost Relics was born.
That's awesome. And this was back when? 2018, 2019?
Yeah, 2019. I think it was around March March was when I started releasing publicly, but I think probably in January was when I was already.
Dude, how bad I wish I was actually there at the very beginning. That would have been so cool.
Now, I knew you were early because
oops, almost spilled the coffee there.
The system for about 3 years now, so since 2019. I want to hear more about Lost Relics. So you started developing this. What do you have today? You have some clips. You've prepared some things. I want to see this.
Yeah, sure. I mean, let's just switch to some of the early gameplay, so you can see that around in the background there.
I miss the days when you only had 4 inventory slots.
2019. So probably about a month or 2 after I joined Engine, I was already previously working on the prototype for this. You could just run around the dungeon, attack monsters, open chests, and collect items. And so it was very arcadey in its style. You were just simply running this one dungeon, which was randomly generated. And as you can see in the footage there, just attacking.
He started with one dungeon.
And that kind of stuff. So it was basically just the first version, and over time, that's ended up transitioning and moving around, and due to player feedback and the community feedback, they've kind of driven it away a little bit from more of the arcade style and more into RPG. Yeah. So now you can do things like this is the current.
Yeah, man. You can see getting ready for that next event too. I know where you're coming from. Glad to see you'll be playing.
Some dungeons and deserts and jungles and that kind of thing.
If we get co-op, hit me up, my friend.
There's various different weapons with effects. There's relics with effects as well that give you power-ups. There's shops in the store which you can go and buy things to, make.
Yeah, let me pause it right there. Yeah, the shops, man. I remember in the very beginning, I was like hardcore watching the shop because I knew how important a gold sink was. So like I was always watching prices change, items coming in and out. It's kind of strange how there really hasn't been too much of a change to that shop. Like I do think we need some gold sinks, right, to be able to control a little bit of the gold inflation. But I'm actually pretty shocked that inflation hasn't gotten worse because like I'm struggling thinking like what the gold sinks are. It's pretty much just, I probably would say right now, like the thing that's like stopping like gold from inflating further, at least at this point, is just that some gold is locked away in players' accounts who will probably be coming back for the events, but aren't playing at the exact moment, but who knows?
Potions and that kind of thing. You can craft items, so you can craft weapons, which are just virtual. You can create potions in order to use like health and energy potions to help survivability. And you can do forging and fishing and mining. And
actually, that's a really good question for any of you guys that have been playing these past few months. Like, has the potion economy changed or really gone off? I know alchemy was always one of those things where like I was really wanting it. I mean, if we go look at the prices. Got to look at alchemy. What are these things selling for? 43 to okay. I mean, health obviously is super important and will always be high up there. Invisibility still down. Poison down. Fire potions, okay, I guess. Brute force potion. Fortification. Resistant potion. Resist concussion. Peach foil still up there. Draco juice. Lullaby. Adrenaline. I'm surprised adrenaline's that low. Yeah, I was always wanting there to be more players using more. But oh well, we'll see, I guess.
Bunch of stuff. So there's a lot of skills that you can level up, and as you do those, you kind of level up, and it kind of gives you that RPG experience. But I've also tried to still keep in there some of the arcade feel. So the combat is very arcadey. And a lot of the movement and stuff is very arcadey. So
I can see that. So this is familiar gameplay, right? User experience is a hurdle, as you and I both know when it comes to blockchain. Looking at this player experience, this does feel really, really normal. I'm not seeing anything here that screams blockchain. So talk to me about how you incorporated blockchain technology and kind of synthesize that with the usual familiar game mechanics and user experience.
Yeah, so I mean, I kind of have taken it from trying to do that crossover. So rather than just going full-on blockchain like a card game, which is, a lot of the blockchain stuff is very turn-based these days. I wanted to go from a different angle where it's all real-time.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of remove some of that. And there's some issues with blockchain, the speed of transactions and that kind of thing, that you can't do certain things quickly and in real time. Obviously, back then there wasn't. These days, it's getting better and better.
Very true. With Efinity coming out soon, it should be better for Lost Relics as well.
Integration was based on the items themselves. So you would run adventures and drop blockchain items, or have a chance to, or drop other items and use those in order to progress towards earning a blockchain reward instead. And that way, in that regard, I could then send it later on. It doesn't matter about the lag on it. You just get it later on and be credited to your account.
So if I'm a new player and I sign in,
there still will probably be a little bit of time on Efinity too, but seconds compared to minutes.
Like, what does that even mean?
I mean,
right?
it is a little bit. I've had to do some of that at the start in the sort of the early times. I had a lot of investors coming in who've never played games, so I've had to kind of pivot all over the place in order to do that, and I sort of had to present to them to say, yeah, this is. You have to link.
That's a really, so yeah, I to be honest, from the guys that were originally investors, I guess you could say, and not gamers, I don't really know too many of them. Like, I know their names and I've seen them in chat and seen them around, but like, I mean, granted, they're not gamers, so I guess we shouldn't expect for them to be around. But like, I would really like to get, if there was one of them that was around in the early founders token, I'd love to really have a conversation about, like, especially if they have kept up with Lost Relics. Really like to get their feedback in terms of what they've been seeing from what was discussed at the very beginning, the very launch, to like now. I guess I'm gonna have to pop a potion once per these runs, since I'm being a little sloppy.
Link your wallet in order to get your items in the first place, because you're going to run a dungeon and you're going to get one at the end. So I had to have that requirement. But in doing so, I do have a virtual account that I credit their items into, and now they can withdraw them to their wallet. So there's a little bit of, you create your email, you then have to link your wallet. Ultimately, I'd like to get rid of that, where you just create your email or you somehow.
Yeah, and that's something that Efinity is going to be able to provide, now with this idea. So Efinity has an idea within the white paper of these things called discrete accounts, which is pretty much the idea that a developer can create a wallet for you. And I guess in this case, they would just link it to your in-game account, and that would be your blockchain wallet. So like, for any brand new players who don't understand cryptocurrency, they don't even need to know that there's a such thing as a wallet. It just exists in the background. They just have their account. You log into your account, you're able to view your inventory, right? But that inventory is actually sitting in a quote-unquote blockchain wallet. That way you take away another barrier of complexity for having people feel like uncomfortable within this learning new stuff, because it's tough. Like, the very first time that we were all sending blockchain items or doing transactions on Ethereum, everybody had that panic of like, oh my God, I sent something and the Ethereum or the NFT is no longer in my wallet, but I don't know, did it go through? Like what's happening? What is this hash? What is, it's still in it's still processing. Am I going to be able to get my thing back? All those concerns will now be gone, or at least, will be gone. I theoretically, I mean, you can still have them if you're an advanced crypto user. You'll still have that functionality, but for the average player, you won't have to worry about that.
I'll prove that it's you, and then you can just continue playing. But beyond that very, very first hurdle of getting the wallet and linking it to your account, you don't have to do anything. You can just continue to play and earn items in your account, and only when you're ready, you can choose to withdraw them.
So you get a wallet, you link it to your account, but beyond that, you've made it easy for players to get involved with your game. Like, there's nothing about it at that point that's complicated or a blocker in any sense. I mean, you have the usual game mechanics and the usual experience for the player.
Early on, when I first added some of these things, like I first added quests and you could turn in items, I did force people to say, because the items were in your wallet, obviously, I had to send a request to their wallet and would say, please send the items to the game, and they'd have to accept it. So that was kind of like the only connection, I guess, to blockchain that they would see. But I've removed all that stuff now. Gas fees are through the roof. People just weren't doing quests. They weren't able to progress. It was basically stopping progress in the game. So I went back virtual again. I went, off chain for a lot of things. And I'm looking forward with Infinity now to actually go back on chain and do that all again cheaply and have it all done on the blockchain instead.
Yeah, on chain's super important, guys.
Behind the scenes.
Or else we're just playing another traditional game.
And I wanna talk more about this, but before we do, your background, super cool. I'm watching you. I'm seeing people walk behind you. And this. Oh,
for a second I thought they were going to talk about like his background, like being a developer. They're actually talking about the. Yeah, that's pretty cool, Cliff.
For our listeners who weren't able to attend.
Yeah. Also, like, speaking of those little things, like those are the little nuanced things that are really cool. Like with Cliff, I remember when the Swiss board competition was going. When that competition was live, the way he did the reveal, because like. First off, you had to do the finale, right? Which was you'd go into the dungeon and try to beat the red cyborg. And then for the results, for like the celebratory like finale, Cliff created his own background there that was kind of like, I don't know what it was, like a TV that was like, it was like he was like in his own virtual world where like the TV that was behind him was like scrolling through the names in the order that people won their items and stuff. That was pretty cool. I like how he does those little touch-ups. He's said before that he's like a full stack developer. So I really I need to research a little bit more about like what full stack actually means, but yeah.
Cliff, you provided this background for our CTO and co-founder Vitek Radomski, and he had this, and it was really fun watching. Every time he would talk, there's people in the background. Is like
maybe a little hint there that Engine's going to be supporting Lost Relics a little bit more rather than being
having a
second in line.
Yeah, super fun. So what is this? Is this part of your game?
Yeah, so this is the tavern that's in the town Talmouth. That's one of the starter towns. In fact, it's the only town you can access at the moment. But yeah, you wander through this tavern all the time to go to your stash to pick your items and things, and there's people sitting there and doing things. So I thought it'd be kind of fun for us to, be sitting there, and his video was of the other side, and there was an Engine logo on the fireplace and that kind of thing, and there's two guys having an intense discussion behind him the whole time. So yeah, it was just a bit of fun to be in the world. Yeah,
that's awesome.
It turned out well.
So okay, let's get back, because part of that conversation. So I was moderating this roundtable. We were talking about some of the pretty negative sentiment towards NFTs, and in my opening dialogue, I talked about maybe not focusing on the NFT specifically, but focusing more on one's digital avatar or digital identity, because I think that if you unlock the meaning of that, the utility of that, the purpose of that, NFTs can start to make a lot more sense.
Look, I mean, I get what Caleb's trying to say here, but to be quite honest, I kind of think it's from a perspective of fear, right? Like he's obviously reacting to like how gamers, like traditional gamers, have been hating on NFTs so bad, and I was like, honestly, I think it doesn't really matter. Like gamers, first off. The things that the gaming community says has been proved out over time to just not be the case. Like, I mean, first off, how many gamers had huge backlashes against free to play games or social gaming, and all of those things turned out to be the biggest trends of the time. You know what I mean? Like Facebook gaming was one of the biggest things that there was for X period amount of years. The free to play gaming genre has taken over the games industry. I think you just need to not worry about it. Just keep developing it. Like, if you want to look at it from like that perspective, then just look at it like right now, crypto gaming is a small genre within all of video games, and over time it's going to continue to grow, and just work on it that way. You're dealing with an audience of crypto gamers. You don't need to worry about the traditional gamers. The crypto gamers aren't going nowhere. We're looking for more and more experiences to be able to play, to get in on. They're not shying away. You know what I mean? So like, don't worry about traditional gamers. They're naturally going to come over. What's going to be more important is like building a robust game over time. See, the thing is, like, obviously with crypto gaming, because of the structures that people have put in place from the early development, have been, early access type of games. There's not been a AAA studio that has built the game first and then done the NFT implementation or the crypto implementation second. It's been the opposite. It's been crypto first, gaming second, right? And that's probably going to continue to happen because none of the big studios are going to want to take risks with their precious IPs. You know what I mean? They're not going to want to take a risk that gamers have a backlash on it, or just that the technology doesn't work. You know what I mean? Because we're so early, a lot of things aren't going to work. So yeah, I think you just got to worry. You just got to worry about putting out the best type of game experience that you can, and just the areas that where crypto allows you to innovate on are the things you should focus on. Let that be the evolution of gaming. Let it happen slowly over time. Don't worry about what other people say, because it really doesn't matter. Honestly, from my perspective, what I think it is, I think it's just a fear of change. A fear of change, and I think it's a combination of like East versus West mentality within gamers, right? Like, obviously, China, Asian, China, Tencent, Japan, have continued, like, developers from those regions of the world have continued to make inroads on like the traditional gaming industry, which has been more Western oriented here in the United States. And I think that's just going to continue to happen. Like, when you look at the video game industry, the funny thing is that like if you ask gamers to describe the video game industry and like what's happening right now, like everybody's wrong. Like if I were to tell you right now, like if you're looking in chat right now, do me a favor, jump on in real quick, because I'm going to ask you a few quick questions, pretty much yes or no's or like percentage numbers or whatever. Give me your initial feedback and we can go over it real quick. So like the first one. Would be in terms of all the dollars that were spent in the industry, right? In terms of all the dollars spent in video games in general, all video games. Give me a percentage, give me a ratio between how much you think was spent between East versus West, like United States, and North America and South America versus the other continents. And what would you say? Would you say it's 60-40? Would you say it's 50-50? Would you say it's 30-70, 80-20? Give me what your guess is, because I guarantee you that a lot of people are going to be off on that. And then the other question to ask would be, how much? So that's in terms of gamers, right? So we have that breakdown in terms of gamers, but in terms of dollars spent. But how about we also get a breakdown between platforms? Give me a breakdown on what you think is the current breakdown within the industry between console, mobile, and PC, like percentage numbers. 80, 10-10, 70, 20-10, all of those. If you have that in your mind already, what you're thinking of right now, answering the first question about like the breakdown between East versus West. Right now, roughly 55% of all the revenue generated in video games is coming from the East. That's China, that's Japan, that's Russia, that's all the that's Korea, South Korea, that's Australia as well. That's already that's already taken over the majority of the gaming industry in terms of revenue. Yeah, so America's 65% other, exactly. It's not that extreme yet. And remember, these are public numbers. There's a lot of information that's still not visible because there's a lot of private companies. But yeah, it's exactly. It's trending towards the east, away from the west. So now, give me a breakdown on what you think. Again, what's the split between mobile, PC, and console? Get that number in your head. And looking at the actual numbers, I've gone through them. I'm a nerd. 65% is mobile, 35% is console, and the remainder is PC. So like literally PC. I guess PC and tablets get thrown in together. PC and tablets. Because tablets is such a small market. 60 is what you think? Yeah, I mean, that was closer. It was 65, 15. Oh, shoot, hold on. 65, 25, and then the remainder going to PC. So what's that? 65 and 25, that's 90 right there, 10% PC. If you can believe that. Like, that's crazy. Like, PC by itself, I would have assumed would have been a bigger competitor with console. But that's just not the case. That's just not the case. So like the gaming industry is trending towards mobile, and we can see it. So my question to you is, the gaming community that it's giving all the backlash on Twitter and on Facebook, what do you think they're playing? They're playing consoles. They're playing consoles. And where do you think they're from? They're from the United States. They're from the West. You're not seeing these same arguments being made in other places around the world. And when we go look at the numbers, those other places are the places right now that are the leaders. They're the leaders in revenue. They're the leaders in console. They're the leaders in player base. So I'll ask the question again. Should we really worry about these loud voices that are on Twitter and on social media? They're not the majority. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, they've become, oh, hey, Kingslayer hit 71 wood cutting. Is that a baby? Major accomplishment, gotta love it. But yeah, I mean, to the question really is, whose voice is the voice, one, that the industry is listening to, and then two, who do you think is right? And it's the same thing happening all over again, like what we heard with free to play gaming. And free to play gaming was a thing. All the backlash that we had about like whales in games and like, get microtransactions out of my game and all this stuff. Honestly, what that was more the Western mentality of video game development or video game players trying to outvoice the Eastern perspectives. And in the end, the Eastern perspective was correct. It's just two different philosophies on building video games. You also hear in the news recently about all the criticism from soft games, the UX UI with Elden Ring. And it's like, they're two completely different mindsets. Like there's a variety of gamers in the world that enjoy games being built in certain ways, It's just the way it is. Yeah, man, he hit 71 wood cutting. Where are we at with wood cutting? I'm at 45, so clear wood cutting. He's killing it over there. He's killing it. And it still happens. Oh, my bad. I went on a little rant there. Let's go back to the video real quick.
Right. So you had some thoughts. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's that ultimate focus right now on NFTs are just JPEGs, and for some reason people have made this association that an NFT is simply a JPEG, that they can steal it essentially by right clicking and saving it, and that's all it is. For some reason there seems to be a disconnect. They don't want to go any further than that. They love just riding on that, saying that every time you mint an NFT it burns a forest and that kind of thing. Like, it's funny things to say, but it's not true.
Exactly.
This is a big deal. Is
it a big deal though?
Companies like Valve they've taken steps to ban NFTs from the Steam.
Fair enough. Yeah. Like, yes, they did take steps to ban NFTs, but like, granted, Valve, when you think about it, Valve has the most to lose from NFTs. And to be fair, like I wouldn't be surprised if Valve right now is working on their own cryptocurrency project that they're going to launch. And of course, they don't want the market to beat them to that rush. Like Valve has so much at risk. Like they're currently one of the leaders when it comes to video game distribution, you know, and that's not going to change anytime soon. But like my point is that you have a new type of system that is threatening, you know, the current system. Like, who are the ones that are going to be the most afraid of it? The leaders in the current industry. I mean, of course they're going to do that. You spent all your time mining and you just hit level 72. Yeah, I was right there with you, bro. I spent all my time mining too, and I'm actually really close to leveling up. Yeah, I'm going to hit 83 in the next couple runs, and then fishing to 45. So I need to go get those done after we finish this bounty. But yeah, I mean, of course Steam's going to ban. Like, I mean, all Steam, best case scenario, Steam's banning it so that they can just get a little extra time to play catch up. You know, worst case scenario, they're hardcore against it. And they'll never let it be on their platform. But the moment that happens, all Epic needs to do, or Microsoft or PlayStation or Sony, all it takes is for one of them to adopt it, to be like, hey, there's an audience here. We're going to serve that audience. And then all of the others are going to be forced to do it too, because they can't just let a competitor run away with a new market. It's the same thing that happened. It happens with phones. It happens with laptops. It's the same type of game theory of serving new audiences. It's the exact same thing. So let's get back to it.
I mean, that's another thing. You've got to realize, why would they ban a JPEG? It's because it's not just a JPEG.
Exactly.
It gives.
You don't ban something that means nothing. You have incentive to ban something that's
too, and resell them in their marketplace.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Cliff's completely right. I mean, of course. I mean, he even touched upon something that I completely missed. Like, of course, Valve is already doing this with CS:GO skins and with Team Fortress 2, with party hats, with their Steam collectibles. Like, they're already doing this. This is the thing that, like, of course they're going to do this with crypto. Like, there's no question. It's just a matter of time until they figure out how they want to do it in their way. And hey, to be fair, like, we're still so early in the adoption and the development of all of this that Steam can easily be like, you know what? This is an interesting idea. We can make it better. And then they release their own thing. But they can't do that if the original plan takes off before they're ready, you know?
And me, or someone files to me reports against my account or something like that, and it gets removed, and I have no access. I've like lost all that. Like, any investment I had in that is gone. And while they've set up a virtual marketplace, it's less accountable. Like, you can't see what goes on. You can't see that, you know, user X sent an item to user Y on this particular date, or that this particular item maybe was used by a particular streamer on their live stream on the anniversary of their stream, like, you know, that kind of thing. So I think, yeah, there's actually the whole NFT idea about it just being JPEGs seems to be a little misguided, and there's ideas that people come
extremely misguided.
For some reason, I came up with one this morning. I was like,
to be fair, when like, do you really expect gamers to be right? Like,
you know, there's so much deep fakes, video, audio, all that kind of thing. What if at the start of this stream, an NFT was minted, like a record was minted or saved on the blockchain, which linked to the audio being recorded in here, so you could listen to it in either real time or play it back straight away. Like, if you were a few minutes late, you could, you know, listen to the old stuff.
Yeah.
And then that record would be saved. And so if someone quotes something and says, "Oh, Cliff said this at some particular point in time," you can go back and actually watch it yourself or listen to it yourself, and it's proved because the NFT was minted at that particular time. Whether it's an NFT or not, it's just a record.
It's bizarre.
Like a record that's saved. You could have multiple, you know, everyone watching could have received a copy of that, and maybe one goes into like a museum or an archival process or something like that, where you can actually go back to prove. I don't know. Like just stuff like that. Like you
That's
can't
a cool
do
idea.
that.
Yeah.
You can't do that kind of stuff with. I mean, you can with centralized. Some guy runs a server or some company runs a server.
Right.
And then if they decide, this is boring, it's not making us any money, we'll just shut it down and it's gone. Like at least with blockchain, it remains.
Well, let's go back. Let's go back.
So I mean, he's right. It remains, you know, but I guess the whole point of like you losing your items in a traditional mindset is that like the value that those items give back to you. And I'm not talking about financial value. I'm talking about just inherent value. You know, however you tend to describe that, like that, you know, even with a blockchain game, if that were to happen, you still lose that too. So, you know, I'm sure there's a better argument to make on it, but to be fair, I don't know if that's the one. I don't know if that's the winner, you know?
Back to just gaming, specifically as a use case, because that's where a lot of the Reddit and subreddit threads are happening, and there's a lot of passionate discourse on both sides. We're hanging out in that tavern behind you, okay? This is your opportunity. Share with
okay.
our audience, our
Give it to me.
listeners.
Give it to me.
We're hanging out in your tavern. We're the gamer who says no. Like, there's no way this is a helpful added value to any game, let alone my game. I want the usual game mechanics. Don't change anything.
Yeah, then we'd still be stuck in the N64 or the GameCube or the NES era.
That's right. I've got all the usual gameplay mechanics.
As a matter of fact, that's the opposite of what video games are. Like, video games have been responsible for like innovation in the computer industry for like since its creation. You know, where did GPUs come from? Video games. Where did artificial intelligence start with? Video games. Where did you know, I mean, you name it. You know, the amount of breakthroughs that things like Xbox Live had, or like, you know, digital downloads, or you know, it's just gaming has been on the forefront of technology and innovation. Of course, it's gonna pick up crypto. Like, that's exactly what it is.
Plus any items you can earn, you can resell. You can't do that with a Fortnite skin that you buy. You can't do that with a Diablo skin and weapon and item and that kind of thing.
By the way, that you buy from whom?
Well, from other
Epic.
players or from me. Yeah, I mean,
Well,
right now, Fortnite, you can just buy it from Epic, right?
You buy it from Epic. That's right, and that's another argument.
Well, yeah, they also have no supply thing. Like, they released a skin, right? They had so much. They copped a lot of flack about this.
I think Cliff is a big.
I think it was the skeleton skin. There was an early skeleton skin released, and I think it was all for season 1. A bunch of people got it, and then I think later, season 3 maybe like that, they then released it again in the store. And these people from season 1 were extremely upset because.
You know what, guys? Real quick, I need to take a quick little break. So I'm going to put the music on, but I'm going to be right back. Give me just a couple minutes. Got to take care of something real fast. All right, baby, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. I got interrupted by a quick little message, something I had to take care of. Before we get back in the video, it's probably a good time. Oh, you know what? Let me run to the stash. probably a good time to just do a quick check-in with you guys. Give me a lurker follow, lurker message in the chat, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done it before. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and continue where we left off with this YouTube video. So let's go ahead and knock it out.
They were there, and they were using it as a token to say, hey, I was there then. And so they had to scramble, and they ended up giving the people who bought the first version a purple version, so that it was a bit different, you know? Like, it's like, at least with blockchain, you can go, hey, look, they're selling the skeleton skin. There's 1,000 of them. I know there'll never be more than 1,000 of them. And you have, you know, the provability there for that. So that's amazing for a gamer because of the value, and you don't have to worry about them trying to change it. I mean, people will argue, oh, they can make a copy of it and they can put the same attributes on it or whatever. It's like, well, yeah, but then it's the copy. Like, you can see that it's different. You know that it's not one of the originals. And if they do that, obviously, you probably don't want to keep playing their game or participating in their ecosystem.
Right.
So yeah, so I mean, it also changes it. Like, from a gamer's perspective, you can invest all your time into playing a game and forget about like that blockchain is there and you can make money and all that kind of thing. Just playing a game. You've spent hundreds and hundreds of hours, and at the end of it, you go, oh, you know what? It's been like 3 years playing this. I'm kind of done. I'm just going to leave. What about if there was also an option for you to say, well, I've amassed like a lot of stuff. Why can't I just sell that? Right now, you can't in any of the other games, you know, unless maybe there's a black market or something where you're open to fraud and that kind of stuff. But, you know, if there was a way to do that, like, why is that a bad thing?
Right. And so just to stop you there, I love this. And I would ask you.
Hey, Cliff's in the. No. Cliff's not in the stream.
Because all of us right now have actual digital identities.
Hold on. Let me get that wrong.
Just existing in walled gardens.
Cliff is not in the stream. I am listening and commenting on the last interview he had with Engine. Sorry about that, guys. My bad for the confusion. What up, Spizzos? Jumped. Oh, Cliff is in here. Oh, my bad. Cliff. This is not Twitch. You're right. Well, okay. Never mind. Correction. Cliff is in the stream. Oops. I'm listening. So, Cliff, I was listening to your last Engine interview while we were doing some bounty grinding here. And I was going to change the outfit. So I saw in-game chat, and I was like, oh, no, they hear Cliff's voice, but they don't actually think it's Cliff. Or they actually think it's Cliff. How's it going? Yeah, not on Twitch right now. I did a little test stream on Twitch the other day. Right now, doing it on YouTube. I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see exactly what we end up doing in the future here. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't mind streaming a little bit more on YouTube, to be quite honest. But we'll have to see. I'll do a little bit of homework and see what's better. But I wouldn't be surprised if we jump back and forth. So let's switch up the outfits real quick. Let's turn this bad boy on, the Gilded Knight, and let's go run some mount. Or yeah, we need some mount right now. But yeah, Cliff. No, we're listening to the Engine podcast that you did with Caleb Applegate. Over there with Engine, so excited to see what's coming up in the near future. Hope you've been working hard and playing safe and doing well and not too stressed out, because I know how things can be pretty crazy over there. YouTube's the way to go. Spizzo's commenting too. 70% for the streamer. Hey, bro, I'm still trying to get. I still got to get it up to monetization level. So I think we're like 500 or 400 plus subscribers away. So don't be surprised if in the next few weeks, we're going to be putting a little bit of attention here. Exactly. Yeah, no. So I don't know. You know, we got Cliff in the stream. Let's see. What? Cliff's not welcome? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh, I get it. You guys want the update ASAP. I feel you. I was talking about it earlier too, a little bit on the last stream from the morning when we were talking about. I don't remember who asked. Someone asked about like what effect would Dark Scourge get, and someone brought up the idea about like spawning a Skeletor, a 10% chance to spawn a Skeletor to fight by your side. And then I read the lore and I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. You just been playing with your Lego blocks for the last 3 months. You think I'm ready to work on the game again? Well, we got a whole bunch of changes coming, right? Because Infinity just recently launched. Been trying to tell some guys here about giving them a little bit of the breakdown about the engine white paper, the Infinity white paper, what it could mean, the idea about like discrete accounts, the idea about like, grouped NFTs, and just what like, obviously not with what you're going to do with Lost Relics, but a little bit more about, what are potential ideas that game developers could have or ways to implement the new technology. So it's going to be exciting to see. For me, I think the most exciting thing is going to be the fact that, we're going to be going onto a new ecosystem with a whole group of crypto investors or participants that currently don't have any blockchain games to play. There are no blockchain games on Polkadot, right? Since the auction process has just started, so Engine, Lost Relics, and all those involved will have an opportunity to be that first mover advantage, get into a brand new marketplace with a whole bunch of new customers. So it'll be pretty interesting to watch. What's that? We got a group leaks. Yeah, I know. Hopefully Cliff gives us some more leaks coming soon. Honestly, I'd rather let's just shotgun these guys. What do you say? Boom, boom, boom. Don't watch, Cliff. Don't look. Close your eyes. You don't want to see this. I don't want you to. Ooh. Yeah, this thing is sick. Spizzo, when we were talking about it on your last stream, brother, and you mentioned that I needed to pick it up, you're 100% right. Look at this thing just do work. Gotta love it, man. That's some good stuff. But yeah, I guess I don't know if we should continue with the video. I mean, we got Cliff in the chat, so I don't know if you guys have any questions you want to ask him. Now's the time. Now is definitely the time. Hey, Jorge has jumped on in. My brother-in-law right there. Gotta love it, baby. I'm glad you jumped on in. Hope you're having a good day over there, my friend. You Spizzo invited to a group chat? Let me see. You guys, are you already in a group chat? Let me see. Oh, you are in a group chat. Let's do this. Let's see. Join call. Boom. I don't know. Hey.
Striker, you literally joined right as Cliff left to go find you. Let me invite Cliff back.
Okay, let me check to see if I got my audio setting. Can you speak really quick to see if the guys can hear you?
Yeah. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, I need to turn this down because you're probably spiking the mic. Do it again, or say something again.
Hello.
Perfect.
Here I think that test in 1 2 3.
I think that should be good.
Let's invite.
I don't even think I have. Interesting. Impromptu talk with Spizzo and Cliff. Let's go.
There we go.
There we go.
Hey, how you doing, Cliff?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Finally have a chance to breathe a little bit, I feel.
You do or me do?
Well, hopefully both of us.
Tax season done with Striker and life with Lost Relics for you, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I've been missing your streams. I think you were taking a break, obviously, for doing the tax stuff. But I've just been continuing work on the update and everything, without trying to reveal too much. There's been some big changes, I guess, coming. Trying to lay the groundwork and push up a few features that I was going to do later into the forefront a bit quicker now. So. Yeah, I won't say too much. I'll do the reveal probably soon.
Ooh, nice. We got a Medium article to read, maybe?
Maybe. I'm not sure yet. It depends. There's been some changes with how I'm doing a few things. So.
That's cool.
We'll see, right?
Yeah. It's always good, man. It's always good. Exciting to know that, around the corner there could be something coming up. And I'm sure, you know, with everything that's been happening with Engine and with Efinity, that's got to be exciting too.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I really knew more about what was going on there. They've been very quiet about what's actually happening, and just sort of saying, you know, I think it was at the end of this month or something. They said that everyone gets access.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's odd that as early adopters like myself and all the other projects, I don't think any of us have gotten any kind of preview or anything like that. And then they just said it's going to be a public release at the end of March. So I'm not sure how that's going to go, or why they're doing that.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, we kind of saw a little bit. I mean, I don't know if this is a fair comparison, but we saw last year how Engine, rolled out JumpNet in general. Granted, this isn't on the same scale. You know, but it still feels good just knowing, you know, there's always a chance for a fresh start, right? Engine's going to get a chance to make inroads and continue along the path over there that they've been trying to set forward, you know, and hopefully game developers and players will be able to benefit from it, you know, but it is going to take time. You know, it's not just flip a switch and, amazing thing happen. Things got to be built out.
That's not how that works. It's just Efinity started and boom, we're all good. You know?
Exactly. Exactly.
I feel like a lot of people do kind of think in that mentality, though, where it's like all the problems will be solved the second this thing goes live. And it's like, no, now we can start dealing with new systems for the future.
Yeah.
And so just because Affinity's going live, I feel like you're going to have a new myriad of players being like, well, what the hell? We've been waiting for the Affinity Switch, and like you're saying, Cliff, like, you haven't heard any much more than the public has.
Well, yeah, I think everyone's being kept in the dark about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means, like, I guess in the past they've said, you know, they've got big collaborations with larger companies and things. Like, you know, they've had Microsoft and I think they even had like BMW or something at one point.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever saw anything come from that.
I didn't hear that one.
There was definitely announcements from both Engine and BMW, but I don't think we've seen any progression on it.
So I don't know why those didn't eventuate. So it's possible that maybe they've got something in the works there with some larger company, and they're kind of just letting all us early adopters, you know, fall into the background, even though we've been supporting them for 3 years now.
I guess,
kinda
right?
sucks.
But yeah, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, I kind of hoping. I mean, the way that they orchestrated that, and I don't know, you know, if it was on Engine's part or if it was on Swissborg's part, but I've talked about it before. Like the way that you were able to participate in that Swissborg competition back in 2020, like that was a really cool idea. You know, a good way for they were able to showcase all these different games. You know, there was interoperability between NFTs that were dropping. You know. And I think it, you know, because of gas fees back then, I'm sure it didn't turn out to be a financial success, but in terms of just, player awareness and adoption, I thought it was proof of concept to me, and that was really important from my perspective.
Yeah, I do think that Engine have for many years now said something about they wanted to do a multiverse quest, and they were kind of hoping to be the first ones to do that, as far as I can understand.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Swissborg event kind of stole some of that limelight away or something like that. But as far as I know, Engine still wanted to do something with all of their multiverse items. Don't know when that's going to eventuate, or if it's going to eventuate, or whether it's kind of gone into the back for a while now, because you know we're all moving to Efinity potentially. So I don't know how that's going to go ahead or not. But I guess we'll see once the 30th comes around, the 31st.
Like in general, like not necessarily speaking about like Engine or whatnot or Efinity, but like in general, it does kind of feel like proof of stake is going to be the future for crypto games, at least because of the, you know, reduction in gas fees, and just it does seem like it's going to be easier for people to operate on the blockchain using that method. I don't know what if you think about gaming and proof of stake.
Yeah, no, I mean it's good. I mean it's less secure than proof of work, but obviously it's still proving itself. But in saying that, like, I mean, the gas fee stuff, that is more dependent on how many projects are actually using the network at the time too. There's still fees going to be involved in transfer costs and that kind of thing, and I think that's delegated by the network. I think Efinity are probably going to have fees set at a specific level. They'll probably start them off a bit higher than like what they'll end up being, just so that people don't flood the network while they're still setting things up.
Mm-hmm.
But I imagine like we'll go back to what it was 3 years ago when I first launched Forgotten Artifacts.
Yeah.
/ Lost Relics. So.
Is that something that excites you? You know, the going back.
Yeah, look, it's kind of been hampering things that I can do and fun events and that kind of thing. Like I do recall back to that tablet event that I had where I dropped those tablets and people had to distribute them through the blockchain in order to activate them and that kind of thing, and that added an interesting dynamic. And I just haven't been able to do any of that kind of thing because it's just too expensive. It's like, oh yeah, I got this item for free. Now I have to send it to someone for $60.
Yeah.
Just in gas fees.
What would happen? Like I know we always are focused on Infinity and stuff. Like, what happens if Ethereum 2.0 does what it actually says it's gonna do? Like, wouldn't that actually circumvent 90% of the issues that all of the, that most games are running into at this point, because most things are built on some Ethereum layer because it's the most popular and most versatile.
As far as I know, Vitalik has always said that everyone should be moving to layer 2s anyway because their system can't handle it. And if you look at what Polkadot's done, they've essentially done all that already.
Yeah, Polkadot is... I think it was so smart to, like, motion forward towards Polkadot. But so I've always actually wondered, because I don't believe that their delivery is ever going to actually happen with Ethereum 2 for the way that they say it's going to work.
Yeah, it might. I mean, the original founders and some of the original developers, like Gavin Wood, who moved to Polkadot, has, they've left that brain trust. So,
yeah.
I don't know where they'll go. Like, I don't know what the future will be for that sort of stuff. But what they've built out with Polkadot seems to be pretty amazing. And I mean, I don't know why people aren't more hyped about it. It's probably just because they don't understand it or know why it would exist or anything like that.
Until you actually
delve into it and try and get the details and that kind of thing to understand and try and figure out how it all works and see that it actually is an improved version almost of Ethereum in a lot of aspects, and allows that whole layer 2 integration to be at the layer 1 almost, because Polkadot's at layer 0. So
Polkadot always stuck out, in all honesty. While I was working for Market Square, we made 250 videos on cryptocurrencies and random blockchains, like breaking them down. And I found a lot of you had realistically like 30 blockchains. Everything else was just a carbon copy of itself, reprinted and rebranded in some other way. But Polkadot, I remember when we did a couple things, and I had partnered with Polkadot, and I was like, they're actually doing, like, for some reason they're sticking out, and they seem to be, as a parachain, because there's tons of choices for parachains, but they seem to actually be integrating and evolving at a much quicker rate than a lot of the other ones when we were learning these random cryptocurrencies and making videos about each one of them. So yeah, Polkadot and the Affinity partnership is another huge reason why I've invested my own personal money into Engine with its evolution, because I believe in those chains. I see what they're doing. They stood out to me when I compared and contrasted them to a ton of different other ones on the broad spectrum.
Sure.
But yeah, there's 1.5 billion parachains that you could choose from, in all honesty.
Yeah.
There are some that... Yeah.
My bad. Go for it.
No. You go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, I kind of came from it from the same perspective you did, which was, like, when I started doing the homework on Polkadot and, like, what it can hold. I mean, the fact that Gavin Wood is the lead over there with Polkadot and was originally one of the creators of Ethereum as well, there's that added benefit of like seeing how Ethereum has evolved, and then kind of being able to say like, hey, in retrospect, I wish it would have been better if we did things this way or that way, and now some of those things are being implemented. The way I've always seen it from the homework that I've done has been along the lines that like Polkadot has the potential to be Ethereum 2.0, what Ethereum 2.0 is wanting, and then take that to the next level too, right? But for me, what I think is the thing that I'm like really intrigued about, and we won't know what the answer is for years, but when Engines talked about it and Polkadot's talked about the idea of like the standard that's going to be used on Polkadot will be able to make it to where all these different parachains are able to interact with each other, right? So, from my perspective, if we have a platform like Engine, which is trying to compete as the NFT layer of this new ecosystem, like from moment one, they're going to be not only incentivized, but it'll be easier for them to interact with other parachains that are already on the system that are DeFi related, or you name it, whatever new adoption of crypto is, it should be easier in general for those two to be able to interact, which I think is the way that people described Ethereum in the past with money Legos and DeFi and all of that, like that these things are interoperable.
Yeah, exactly. I think we'll still see definitely in probably this year, kind of hoping for big things for Polkadot and for their ecosystem as well as Efinity. So I guess we'll see what happens by the end of the year. Where that's going to go, especially if they're trying to be the token standard on Polkadot, and they've also got the bridges set up for various other networks to pull the NFTs across.
Yeah, that pooling of NFTs is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, that's the thing that I don't know a ton about, and just the concept of it. It adds a whole new level to the parachain of that. Yeah, I don't know enough about that to actually like fully comment on how that system works fundamentally, but it gets me very excited for Efinity as an entire network, even separate from Polkadot itself, even though I know Polkadot's core is going to allow that in a sense. But yeah.
I mean, I could do a quick little rundown in general, but like the idea here is that in pretty much people are going to be incentivized to place a bid, to be able to say like, hey, if anybody has this NFT that I want, I will pay you here on Efinity. All you got to do is move it over here. And in the meantime, while we're waiting for that to happen, pretty much like those users are being rewarded with EFI token for the activity. So it's like the marketplace rewarding its participants by putting items and listing items up. What gets me excited is that in that model, I don't know if necessarily, I'm a little skeptical, I think, on the idea that it's going to be able to like create a tsunami of NFTs coming over, but yeah. I do like the idea that with bids always being up and people pretty much like yield farming, that kind of that'll make it a lot easier for us, for the community to know like what certain items are worth, because they'll always theoretically they'll always be in order up.
Okay. Yeah, plus for the game side, for Lost Relics in particular, I find that having access, I guess, directly to other NFTs through Engine's ecosystem will also expand what I can support in game too. So for example, if I wanted to show apes or something like that as a painting on the wall, it should be super easy to show that now and to support that. Whereas in the existing Engine ecosystem, that wasn't possible.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Very good perspective.
See, that puts that into a different perspective to me. Yeah. That is not also what I was anticipating, and
well, that's
very cool. Yeah, not that you're doing like it's just you could.
Yeah, I mean, being on Polkadot, is what's going to give them the ability to do that if they're pulling over other NFTs rather than just being in the Engine ecosystem and supporting ERC 1155 only. They can now support
20s and
720s as well.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Cliff, in general, again, doesn't need to be engine related, but like, I know in the past there's been conversations about, especially amongst game developers, about whether or not there was actually any incentive for game developers to support other game developers' tokens or NFTs or whatever. And I mean, I get that. I get how that can hinder people working together. Have there been any other information that's come out or anything that you've come across that you think might be able to help reinforce gaming developers working together rather than working separately?
I haven't seen anything recently. I think the problem is there's not enough live projects that have been doing this for enough time to be able to support each other.
I get you.
Or in the same kind of world. Like there's 2D games like Forest Knight who have been out now for a little while, but all of their items and everything are 2D. There's no 3D items. So there's not like a direct asset swap available there. You have to kind of remake all the art. And while there's some of the relics and things like that I use are 2D, there's other items that, I don't know, it requires, because they're all kind of building at the same time and everyone's kind of trying to put their project up, it makes it difficult to then also account for external things. So even adding the multiverse items that I have at the moment, I've had to kind of think carefully about, if I add that in and I give that a specific ability, how's that going to impact the items that I already have planned, or they're going to be coming out soon, or that were already released. So
true that.
It makes it a bit more difficult to do that, and the value proposition for a developer adding it needs to kind of take into account the size of the communities, I guess. I guess you're kind of hoping, if I add support for this item from this other project, maybe I'll get some of their community across in order playing, our game or something. But if that doesn't turn out, or you only get 3 people, then was the hours and hours of effort to add that really worth it, or should you have concentrated on something else? And I think that's the state. That's what I've experienced at the time. There's either no projects, or they just want me to support their items and things to pump up the price of their token, or there's just no sort of community there. They're kind of hoping to feed off of the Lost Relics community, right. Maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's kind of, you kind of need to find like for like projects almost. And it is very difficult at the moment with everyone still building to try and do those kind of collaborations. You kind of need to have like a very finalized or finished base product with everything working correctly, and then you can kind of find places to insert those additional items and features and that kind of thing from other games.
I gotcha.
The only other thing that would, generally in the standard space, these kind of things are done as sponsorships or branded things, where that project will approach you and say, we're willing to pay you whatever you want to charge for adding this item into the game. How much will that cost us, or something like that? That sort of mentality doesn't seem to be in the blockchain space. A lot of them come in and be like, I just do this for us for free, just add it for us, and then we're like, okay, what are you going to do back for me? Yeah. To make that a legit transaction? No, I don't know, nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like
I would,
what?
I would even venture it's
fair, right?
one step further, right? Because like we've already seen situations where like I think it was Sushi Swap went ahead when they when they did their drop. It was they were targeting specifically the Uniswap customers, blockchain users, to be able to like pull them onto their ecosystem. So it's like literally the opposite. It's like people trying to steal other people's communities, or not steal, but
I mean, they did not take business ethics in college.
Yeah, I mean,
not supposed to directly poach, but supposed to subliminally poach on them. I do.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's still a pretty infantile space in terms of that stuff, and everyone's trying to build projects, and then it really sucks that there's people out there who are creating projects and then rug pulling and creating scams and all this sort of stuff. Like, it it removes a lot of the trust and other things in this space and removes the legitimacy because it's just basically causing bad marketing for the space. And while those people who are doing the rug pulls and other things are maybe getting rich off of doing it, it's really screwing it up for everyone else who's trying to do this legitimately.
Yeah.
I mean, 100%. You get this like public branding for one of my favorites is, Bitcoin is used for, drug transactions and exploitation. It's like half of that may be true and whatnot, but at the same time, like people don't like. One of my favorite stories was Bitcoin revealing a sex trafficking ring. Like, and exposing that whole thing and doing that. The complete opposite as what the public persona is for a lot of cryptocurrency. And it gets paired with these shady things where there could be 10 legitimate things. And one shady thing gets some national news. And that's what everyone's viewing.
I feel like a lot of that is just misinformation. And
100%.
A lot of the people who are feeling that their industries and other things are going to be impacted by this just creating FUD. So
1,000%.
I don't think that's because I mean with cash it's completely traceless. You can go and
yes,
and that happens more and more and more in the real world than anything to do with Bitcoin.
The entire illegal industries of the world, like realistically, the U.S. dollar.
Well, that's why they're also clamping down. Like in Australia, for example. I think the highest note you used to be able to get was a $100 bill. They have since stopped doing that because they found that a lot of the illegal activities would start stockpiling $100 bills because they needed to hold their cash somewhere.
Yeah.
So they limited it now to, I think, $50. So now you need twice as much room to hold money and making it more annoying for them to move it around and that kind of thing. Which is, really interesting way to deal with it, I guess, but
it's hilarious.
It shows you that it's still a huge problem.
Yes, like that's why I like your choice of interesting because it's kind of a funny way to deal with it. Like, all right, well, fuck, like we'll increase your storage capacity by 50% across the board, and that's actually going to circumvent some things. But yeah, the idea that cryptocurrency gets painted in these scandals, schemes, pyramid schemes, all these things that have been perpetuated in finance throughout the beginning of time of finance, and they're getting painted there, I think is completely out of what you're saying, is fear of it impacting their industry, and so they report negatively on it. It's like, how many people have become bankable in the entire world because of cryptocurrency that were never bankable before because they didn't have access to a bank or their government didn't have legitimate banks? Like, the benefit is so huge, and the focus of, in my opinion, a lot of the mainstream media is negative towards cryptocurrency.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, I agree with everything you're saying. I 100% agree with it, and I strongly am a supporter, obviously, of crypto. But to be fair, I mean, the ideas here, the issues that are being caused, like cryptocurrency is going to be a huge benefit for a lot of people, but in order for it to be able to get its like foothold in, like there's going to be a lot of destruction too,
Oh yeah.
So like I completely understand the fear that comes with the idea of like, a changing industry or changing financial system, and there is, unfortunately, it's going to get darker before it gets brighter, but
darkest
like,
before the dawn.
Exactly. I mean, the same type of logic also plays into the video game industry, right? Because like, I mean, I know the industry right now may not be taking crypto gaming in general as serious as we may be. But when you think about it, and I was literally talking about it right before you guys messaged me, like I was watching the part where from the engine discussion with Cliff, where Cliff talks about why the reason why Steam, bans NFTs. Like, why would you ban a JPEG, right? And it's true, but also the reason why they're banning it is because it affects them directly. I mean, they have CSGO skins, they have party hats, it's the
they're
evolution.
not going to make as much money. I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's still like, it's amazing to be a part of a project that's ahead of that game. And I just got a blockchain. Yeah, buddy. 22 shadow stones.
Very
Got
nice.
Cerulean sapphire.
I hit level 45 fishing. Hell yeah. Let's go.
Oh, Cliff.
Crazy.
Side note, while you're here, is it a rim or is it IRIM?
IRIM is how I
IRIM.
IRIM.
God damn it.
Yeah, actually,
I was wrong.
While I was watching Corinne's stream, and she is really good at pronouncing everything. So mostly everything she's pronounced is correct. So I know you were asking something about saying you wanted me to pronounce them all for you, but yeah, I mean I can do that. But a lot of what she said is correct too. So she's got a good grasp of English and pronunciation.
I feel like that was the biggest one, or at least for me personally. I'm sure there's ones for other people because there's a big list of them. Like where it's
I mean, it's not necessarily. It's probably not perfect. A lot of the naming and place names and that kind of thing were originally thought up by Rob, and more recently, some of them have been thought up by Corey. But it was my interpretation then of the spelling that he used as to how I pronounced it too, and it's just gone from there, I guess. So it's possible that people in other languages, like in America, I know you pronounce things slightly differently too, even though the spelling's the same or similar, and it sounds quite different. So it depends on which part of the world's English language you're using, I think, as to how you interpret it.
I would say that is a fair middle ground right there, but me personally, I'm like, whatever you say, that's how it is actually supposed to be.
Yeah, so IRIM in that regard.
IRIM. Okay.
IRIM it is.
I lose. I was Island of a Rim for a long time.
Yeah, a rim for me would be ARIM.
Fair.
Whereas IRIM is IRIM.
If I know FTP is in here, you were right. I was wrong.
Setting the record straight.
Setting it straight. Like, yeah, I was wrong. Cliff, how do you pronounce Ninja Cage? Isn't it just Ninja Cage?
Yeah.
what good variation could possibly?
Oh, you mean like Ninja Kage or something like that, is it?
Write a phonetic version of what you were considering, please. Because I'm really interested. Ninjaya Cage. Keiji. How would you pronounce that?
There's Ninja Cage and Ninja Basuto. But I mean, my pronunciation of Cage might be incorrect too.
Okay, I'm sorry. Like, this is your game. There's no incorrect pronunciation.
GIF versus GIF.
Exactly. Exactly.
No, it's GIF, by the way. It's not GIF.
If you wanted to say GIF, even though, if you're a real one, you know it's GIF. That would be appropriate for the game.
Any others that you wanted to ask while I was there? I won't be able to stay too much longer. I got to head off soon.
I'll let Striker do his thing. I don't want to bogard.
No worries. I don't know. I mean, this obviously came up at the, last minute or whatnot. But is there any information you could share about Shadowstones in general? I know I had brought that up like randomly in the middle of your previous talk with Spizzo, and I'm sure I'm catching you off guard right now too. But just I just thought it was fascinating looking back over the course of the past few months and like seeing how many Shadowstones were dropping. I've always kind of guessed that, and you might have talked about it before and I missed it, but I kind of always assumed that whenever like a purchase happened in the blockchain emporium, that was what that like would trigger the next round of Shadowstones to be dropped or something. I don't know if that logic's even correct or whatnot, but yeah, I don't know if there's anything you might be able to share on that.
I mean, the way it works is there is a treasury of Shadowstones, which I initially seeded with my own JEng.
Sure.
And so as people do trades on the marketplace, there's the portion that gets put back into that treasury. So if you think of it like just a large bag or something like that, or a fund or whatever you want to call it, just like a counter basically. So that has all the Shadowstones. Yeah. So whenever you run an adventure and it rolls the shadow stones for you, they'll be taken from that treasury. And so far, the treasury has never run dry. It's probably about half of the original amount that I put in. When was it? Several months ago. Like it's down to that, but that's because it keeps getting replenished.
Sure, it goes down, and then the purchase happens, it goes back up slowly over time.
Yeah, by cells and everything.
But
right?
it's never gone dry. It's never that there's been none left to give anyone. So it means that at least the economy is moving, and there's shadow stones circulating.
Sweet. I think you implemented the shadow stone system like around August of last year. Is that correct?
Oh, was it that long ago?
I think or was it? I mean, I'm trying to remember. Was it, if it was before or after the Halloween event of 2021? I
can't remember.
I think it was maybe right before.
It might have been. I did it kind of quietly because I wasn't really sure how it would go.
Sure.
In terms of just the different mechanics of it and that kind of thing. Like I know all these other projects have been just creating their own coin and then giving that coin out. But I don't know. I feel that doing it this way with some other cryptocurrency backing it that isn't directly only related to the game gives it a way better value and liquidity and everything too. Yeah, like you're not just getting your players trying to mine all the currency out and then everyone complaining that all the early players got it all. It's like, well, Engine's been around for ages. There's a huge circulation of it out there, and really these are just backed by those same items. So if the price of Engine goes up, then the price of Shadowstones goes up, and likewise for when it goes down. So it just seems like a better stable way to do it as well. And I'm not dropping them every single time you run into the dungeon. It's not meant to be a basic income.
Right.
So it's still got randomness in there, because like imagine if let's say I'd seeded it with 100,000 shadow stones and everyone got 1 or 2 every time they ran an adventure. And there was maybe
value of it.
Well, no, just that it would be spread out to everyone's account and no one would have enough to buy anything. They would just have small amounts of it and then the whole treasury would be empty.
Right, exactly.
So by randomly doing it, at least it's kind of spreading it out and getting smaller chunks and then larger chunks here and there. Theoretically, you should at some point, not too far on, be able to afford something, or at the very least, you could top up your account with your own.
Yeah, I mean, I was able to use just from Shadowstone drops, over the course of the time that I was playing. I was able to use it to get a Jasper Jewel. I don't know if the prices went up and I got it at a lower or whatever, but like it kind of incentivizes that continued progression, investing back into the economy, which is really cool. I
don't think that's in any other games. It's kind of the whole point of that. The fee structure in there was to ensure that players can't just take shadow stones and withdraw them straight away from the game. Like all that's going to do is suck out the entire value of the game, and then no one has any items, and everyone's just stolen all the shadow stones basically for free. Whereas by forcing you to convert those through the marketplace into something else, it actually stimulates the entire marketplace and allows people to buy and sell things and to trade things and to actually have it actively flowing, because it's like incentivizing the whole marketplace.
Yeah, exactly. I also thought that there was a unique opportunity that the Shadowstone backing with Engine provides. Since on the Efinity white paper, Engine has made an announcement in terms of like the future use of Engine and what that could mean for the new Efinity network. And for anybody that hasn't read the white paper, it pretty much is the idea that engine holders will have the power to vote on the one of the security portions of the new Efinity chain. So when I had heard about that, the idea popped in my head, and I don't know if it's something you even ever considered, but it just popped in my head, the idea of, I knew that Lost Relics had for a period of time, was generating and probably is still generating the largest exchange of Engine amongst its player base within its own economy. which I guess theoretically could mean that in the future, if that continues to grow, that Lost Relics as a game or as an economy could have the ability to be one of the security, network, one of the holders of that collator nodes that could benefit not only Affinity, but the economy of Lost Relics. I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, so I haven't announced it anyway. I've just been trying to be in discussion with Engine about it, but I'm definitely going to be setting Lost Relics up as a validator node.
Hell yeah!
So and you'll be able to use your engine to vote for the Lost Relics validator node, and I think it depends really on what features they give and what kind of visibility they give as to who does the voting, because I could theoretically make it so that if you vote for the Lost Relics validator, that you get some kind of bonus in game. For I think basically staking your engine towards that, to using your engine to vote for the validator. So the validator would be earning E5 from the transactions by being voted in, and in in exchange, they can then do something else. I don't know whether that's going to be an in-game thing or whatever it's going to be, but I'm just saying, like, if they have the ability for the game to be able to see who is doing the voting and how much and that kind of thing, then it means that I should be able to do some kind of reward system for that too.
Could that be based off of in-game value with Engine?
What do you mean?
Just straight holding of Engine? So if I had 10,000 Engine, or if I had 10,000 Engine in the game?
It'll be in your wallet as far as I know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if it's straight Engine. It seems like they're doing it so that it needs to be Engine within items. So you need to be holding FTs or NFTs with Engine backing in order for it to be able to be used. I think. I'm not sure. I need to double check that. It's a bit murky on it's a bit murky on the actual white paper about that, and in the past, Engine have changed things anyway, so I'm not too sure which way around they're going to go around that. They probably haven't given many details because it's going to change.
Fair.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Like, that's what I'm kind of waiting for all these extra details and extra information and in the API to be able to play with a few things to see what exactly can be done. So yeah, it'll depend on the future, I guess, on what they do end up releasing. Most likely they're just going to do MVP for the first release. They'll probably just have the ability to create tokens. I don't know. I'm assuming since they will be importing tokens from other networks, that they'll have to support tokens without Engine backing, because otherwise they won't be able to import them. So I imagine that'll probably be MVP. Whether they also have the ability to create tokens with Engine backing on the first release, maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know. They're just kind of light on details.
Fair enough. Last one for you, Cliff. I know you got to run. I've been dying to ask you this one in general, and I know there's not going to be an answer right now, but just the idea about like whether or not there's been any thought process behind it, or in general. Have you given any thought? Ooh, Shadowstones. 37. Nice. Sorry.
Ooh, baby.
One of the things that I've been playing around in with my head for, a while now. When we're talking about the idea of like digital ecosystems being games, one of the elements like to create a thriving ecosystem is the idea of entrepreneurship, the idea that different areas can incorporate people creating their own ideas, products, businesses, services, whatever. Have you ever thought about an idea about if that's something that could exist inside Lost Relics? The idea of players being able to run their own type of little, business might be a strong word, but their own little ventures within Talmuth or within your game?
Yeah, definitely. Have definitely given that considerable thought. There is some plans that we've got coming up for, I I guess, the next couple of updates. One of them, obviously, everyone knows about being housing, and some of it being around land ownership and that kind of stuff, where it gives you some sort of a benefit or passive income or something like that from owning certain things or setting certain things up in a particular way. I'm being kind of vague because
of course.
I don't want to say anything specific.
Yeah, gameplay and ecosystem. I mean, structure first, right? I mean, it has to be that way.
It's still in the planning phase, so it's not ready to be announced or anything like that yet. But yes, definitely have been thinking about how that's going to work and how it's going to tie into the whole universe.
That's super exciting. Super exciting just to know that there's potential, for the development in the future.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think with the way that Shadowstones has been working as well, I think it can kind of underpin a lot of the features coming as well, in terms of maybe how you obtain them or how they're recycled, among other things. Like I've also mentioned the pet progression that's being worked on. Most of you know it's going to be potentially pets attacking, but I also want to convert them into actual NFTs. And in fact, all the pets that are out there at the moment with unlimited supplies, I kind of feel like, so my plan at the moment, just to kind of take a bit of a detour, is the move to Efinity, I feel would be better done as me destroying the existing items on Engine and then recreating the new ones from scratch on Efinity. Like, sorry, not the new ones, but just everything, because it gives me a chance to fix up some of the experimental and missteps and things that I took with some of the early items, like the unlimited pets. So I originally created those as unlimited because I wasn't sure how many I'd sell. And like a standard store, it was going to be, oh, this item will be available for this amount of time. And then at the end of that time, they'll be stopped. And that's how many there are. But since doing those sort of sales, I've learned that a lot of people don't actually like that, even though that's what they all do in Fortnite and other things. People actually really do prefer seeing how many there are so they can make their own decisions about getting them. So, for example, I'll be changing that. There's another unknown question on Efinity yet. Previously, whenever I created items that weren't unlimited and were instead collapsing, which is pretty much all of them, when you set the supply, you have to pre-mint them all. So whenever I would create a new item and I would set the limited supply of, say, 1,000, I had to immediately create all of those items at that time and spend the engine into them. So in the create function, it was spent at the same time. And then I also then minted them at the same time in order to reduce costs later, because it would cost per transaction after that. So there was a lot of those decisions that were done. I am kind of hoping that I don't have to do some of that anymore in Efinity. And that will mean that when you look at the blockchain to see the records, you can see that the items are unminted and they only get minted when they get sent to an account wallet. So there's some interesting things like that. Like, I mean, some of that won't make sense to people, but I'm kind of looking at using the move to Efinity as a break away from what was already created and trying to fix up a few of the things. Yeah, and standardize everything across it. So I'm really looking forward to doing that, which is why I've said it's a good idea to send in your items to the game. Because
I actually just got that done. I was having for a couple weeks, but
it's tough with the gas, and I don't know when it's going to go down, if it's going to go down. And so if you can't afford to send it whenever, then I understand that. I'm not going to be necessarily saying here's the end date to move those items across or anything, because I don't know when that'll be. That may be reliant on if Engine decide to take offline their old APIs that I'm using at the moment.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be your decision. It would be like an end all be all of the network's decision.
Yeah, I mean, it would suck if it was at a time when the gas price was the highest, which is why I'm saying just use your own decisions here and
tracker, and wait for low metrics and do it. It's really easy on the website.
Yeah. So I can't remember what was your original question. I kind of did a massive circle around there.
No, I mean I think you covered it because we kind of were talking a little bit about like the idea of like entrepreneurship inside game worlds and building, just giving players the ability to like build businesses or build because like really just anything that gets built, I guess, within a video game, ecospace is obviously going to help that ecosystem thrive. And I honestly, from what I've seen from like the Lost Relic player community, like we've seen artists put up, renditions of the song of the opening theme. We've seen a lot of extremely talented content creators. I'm just excited to see like what those type of creatives are able to add or bring in when the time comes in due time.
Yeah, definitely. I'm kind of hoping, like, I mean, this next update won't have, okay, I guess an exclusive thing. The next update won't have multiplayer, but the one there afterwards, I'm already aiming for multiplayer.
Jeez, man, that's crazy.
And that'll be in the form of co-op arena.
Co-op arena,
buddy.
So like,
we just got some major hits.
That's huge. That's ridiculously huge. I'm running around the map and I have no clue what I'm doing, just thinking about it.
Hell yes, I'm so ready.
So that's not this next update, because in this next update, there's a lot of fundamental system changes in order to make room for some of the changes coming. But there's also a lot of changes in of themselves anyway. It's not like the last 3 months have been doing nothing. It's like I've been just constantly grinding on the game. There's there's going to be a lot of changes around so many different things with the environment, with the adventures and that kind of thing. And then, I mean, there's still more to come after that. So it's not like it's going to be released and we're all done. I'm like, yep, cool. Now you've got everything. It's as per usual. We're still pushing towards building bridges to the next section and stuff. So
we're done.
I know that everyone is really super hyped to do co-op. So I think that's now become the primary focus after this update in order to get out. I've also finally found a good system to use for that, which theoretically should allow for zero lag across the entire world.
Wow!
So,
hell yeah, dude!
It should be easy to play with someone. Like I should be able to play with you guys overseas.
We will
without any issues.
You mean
that would be amazing?
When we play together, it will have no issues.
That would be amazing. I mean, wow, what a that caught me completely off guard.
Bomb, dude. That's a bomb.
That is a bomb. That's huge. Yeah.
So there's still some groundwork to do for that stuff.
Sure, of course.
And there's quite a bit of in order to make it that sort of zero lag thing. There's a certain way that you have to build the game and the logic and that kind of thing. So got a little bit of work ahead in order to get through that. Probably say a couple of weeks at the very least. And there's some systems that have recently changed that I've fixed up. So for example, there's a navigation issue at the moment where sometimes you'll be I guess in particular, it's the outdoor maps where you'll just hit a wall and you can't move any further. And that's just related to the navigation system that I've been using. So I ended up using a different one for this next patch. And then I'm going to need another one after that for the multiplayer. So kind of shows you the hoops I'm jumping through in order to get to that point in time. There's a couple of rewrites needing to be done in order to support that. Because the information wasn't available, or the project wasn't available then to me, but it is now.
That's crazy, man. I don't know if you were tuning in for getting some feedback from Cliff. I don't know what could be bigger than that, to be quite honest.
A hot damn. That's what that is. That's just a hot damn.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome, dude.
This is probably, I mean, there's going to be a bit of an impact to the standard event schedule. I'm actually thinking about redoing how the event schedule is done so that it's not following necessarily with the common holidays, and instead we just have our own event schedule within.
I like that.
Sweet.
Because I think at the moment we get that event at the end, Halloween and then Christmas, and it's very close together. And then there's a bit of a gap until Easter, and then there's another gap until Halloween again.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of redoing it
on a schedule that I don't personally like. I would rather have like when shit's ready, it's ready. I don't want you to be necessarily focusing on like, oh crap, like I have this whole new cool system that everybody actually wants, but I have to do this event.
Yeah, sometimes it does get in the way. I mean, it's good because it helps with revenue generation and allows me to pay for services and other things. So I do need to do them, but at the same time, I think we just have to come up with like it could be just 4 times a year or something like that, spread out evenly so that it sort of keeps going.
An idea. I had one.
But the other thing that would help with this whole thing is I know everyone's sort of just waits for the events to happen, and in between they kind of feel bored because it's just the same grind. There are other game modes and other events and things like that coming to fill all those spaces in as well. Like I've always said, we're just layering things on top and on top and on top. So eventually we're going to be to a point where you just jump in whenever, it doesn't matter. You just stuff happening all the time. Yeah. So there should be less reliance and less focus on just when these events are happening. So that it doesn't really matter. You should just always be jumping in and playing.
I'm so pumped about that because it's also something I've been selling for a long time where I was like, a lot of people had been critical in the past, like Lost Relics hasn't progressed. And it's like the creator didn't want skills, we did. And he revamped the entire goddamn game to incorporate that. And do you know how long that takes to do to a game that's active?
Well, I think that's the key,
like,
right?
Not even a game that's like in beta where it's like that takes a long goddamn time, but we're all able to play it and he's still doing it, and people have the audacity to say something like that. And then we have this update that you've said that is going to have self-generating dungeons to where the way that you want them. So that opens you up to all this other stuff like you're saying. But it annoyed the crap out of me because it's like, do you realize the work that goes into that?
I think that's the key, Spizzo, right? Like the key here is that, and it's coming to fruition because of the fact that this is crypto gaming. But I think the fact this is the first time I think that players are really, other than like the previous early access games, like now with the idea of people, owning their own assets, it puts more of a weight on it. But obviously gamers don't know the complexity of game development. And like, I've been doing my best to try to understand it a little bit more, just so that I can make my own decisions and stuff. But the truth of the matter really comes down to expectations. And I mean, I think it's also fair to say that gamers have had, unfair expectations in general across all games, not just Lost Relics.
100% true.
But you'll see it all the time for other game releases too,
every
right?
industry.
Exactly.
Like everyone's so easy to criticize. It's really hard to build stuff. It's easy to criticize. So a lot of people just take to criticizing.
And there's also that I forgot that statistic or whatnot. It's a marketing statistics that's saying like for every like negative every time someone puts a negative opinion out on. Exactly, on the internet,
it's like 5 positives to outweigh 1 negative.
But not only that, like the likelihood that someone's going to share negative input versus share positive input is
10 times more.
10, yeah, exactly.
10 times more. I work in marketing. 10 times more.
That's it.
So obnoxious. Yeah.
You know what's up.
But I've been trying to fight against that because that's annoyed the shit out of me. I've been preaching that this was the year that we were going to see like real in-game changes because the core systems are done. He's done dealing with our bullshit, which I say our with the skills. It's like, bro, anyone who wants to downgrade anything with Lost Relics as Cliff as the creator, it's like he has a whole system that we wanted, he didn't. We love it. he's adopted it and he's absorbed it and he's working with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just me doing some of that stuff. It's also Corey helping massively on that side.
Yes,
a lot of design work and other things. Is his
but the weight
ideas.
that goes into that type of a change to the core element of something because you're listening to the people that are playing the game.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's a far cry from what it originally was. So.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Like it's cool that it's kind of evolving. It's also throwing challenges for me to do. I don't think there's anything I've come across so far that I haven't been able to sort of solve or get out the way. So that's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
There's been a few challenges along the way. Obviously, as we go in, like the Easter event last year was pretty stressful.
Would you mind, Cliff, real quick, the idea, like what you just said right now about there was obviously challenges along the way. Would you be able to just verbalize some of those? And it doesn't need to be related to this game, but just what would you say some of the hurdles have been over the past couple of years? And then two, like you've obviously been able to make it past each hurdle. Like I was telling people for the longest time that, one of the key drivers to success in crypto is to be able to make it over those hurdles and continue to survive as a project. Would you be able to just go over any of those basic ideas just so people can understand a little bit about some of the complexity behind all of this?
Yeah, I'll see if I can remember. I mean, there's been internal as well as external. Obviously, the biggest external was probably gas fees. We had that whole quest system designed around sending items into the game, so you'd send them from your wallet in, and then you every time you found an item, you'd send it straight out to your wallet, and then you could see ownership and everything. When gas fees went through the roof, I was spending a fortune. I lost thousands and thousands of dollars just sending items to people, and so I had to quickly change how that worked in order to provide some way for people to pay me beforehand to then send them out. Unfortunately for me as well, that's added a massive tax implication because they sent me ETH and then I spent the ETH to send them the items while I'm still paying capital gains tax on that. So that was a bad move by me, and I've lost a bit from that. But at least it helped solve some of the gas issues on my side, and then on the player's side, I made it so we had to create an entire in-game marketplace in order for everyone to trade their items, because you couldn't even trade your items on public marketplaces. It was just too expensive, and in order to change a listing, it cost you just as much as it cost to send an item or to list in the first place. And I think at several points there that went up to several $100s. So you create a listing for an item and trying to sell it for $2, and it's going to cost you $100 to list it. So I had to create an entire marketplace, in-game marketplace. I was essentially reproducing some of the blockchain features that I was hoping to rely on. That's, encoding and stuff. That's like using a library or someone else's library and saying, yeah, I'm going to rely on that. And then I don't have to worry about it, and they'll have the upkeep of that. But in this case, I couldn't do that now because the gas fees have gone up.
Sure.
So that's like an example of an external thing. One of the internal things, I guess, was with the Easter event, just trying to do some of the scaling work to many thousands of concurrent players. There was a library that I was relying on in order to, so I had about 20 different servers running at one time in order to host everyone. And it would just kind of shift the responsibility across all of those servers as new players came in, and feeding the requests and stuff. There was a communication layer between all of those, so that if a player on, let's say, server 1 did something in particular, maybe they got a new item to their wallet, or maybe they got credited with a new item, that server then had to tell all the other servers that this player had a new item, so that they could invalidate their caches. They had like caches of what the player had, so that whenever the player then connected to them, it would know what the latest state was, and it wouldn't have to look it up or anything. It's a bit technical, but
sure.
Basically that was like an example of an internal thing. So I had to figure out what the hell was going on, and then try and get everyone to stop playing for a while, terminate the services, try and figure it out, try and reproduce it again, because it doesn't reproduce when you just got a handful of test instances going, and it didn't reproduce when you had hundreds of tests running on that either, because you can't reproduce the same randomness in player behavior that you can. So that was fun.
How many of those hurdles do you think are specifically crypto related?
Only the external one, I guess. That internal one was just different, like centralized servers. If I had everything running on, like, for example, if Lost Relics wasn't a real-time game and was a turn-based game, like a lot of the card games and other things, then that communication issue wouldn't exist, because the contracts run the code themselves, and the contracts just runs on the blockchain. So there's a huge lag in between each move. It's all turn-based, and you don't need servers. Like, I'm paying thousands for servers every month. But you don't need that if your game is just running on a contract on the blockchain. At the same time, you can't do the kinds of things that we have in Lost Relics on the blockchain yet. It's not fast enough.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I'm sure a lot of this is, perspectives that from, gamers are listening to it. These are things that they're not dealing with on a day-to-day basis. So, and
not at all.
And obviously they have it's impossible for someone to be able to understand, what building out these types of projects would take.
That goes on.
Yeah. I don't think that people need to necessarily learn about it or to understand it. Like, a lot of people just won't. I think what they need to just do is to just have more empathy and understanding, and try and think, what would it be like in a stressful situation or something like that, having thousands of people yelling and screaming at you to do something. Like, whether you had one person or you had a team, the end result would be the same.
It would.
You would have a lot of people scrambling around trying to fix things. They're not meaning to screw up your day. They're not trying to ruin your holiday or whatever it happens to be. It's just something happened. Like, I feel like 2022 is trying to almost crazy year as was 2021. Right? Like, we've got war and the pandemic and everything. Like, it just seems like nothing's slowing down, and it seems like a lot of things are going wrong. Like, you might order, say, a desk fan or something like that. It seems like they seem to be breaking a lot more often at the moment than previously. I don't know why that is, whether there's less care taken because people are rushing, trying to get things out quicker.
I know, mass production
It's not just the software industry. It seems to be hardware and building and all that kind of thing. Like, it doesn't seem to matter. You hear about these stories about issues and delays and everything everywhere. So I think people just need to have a bit of understanding. If they don't understand how it works that thing, they just need to realize maybe that, or try and figure out why that would be that case, and maybe take a step back and not get angry about it all the time, like a lot of people seem to resort to.
Well, I will say that people do not understand the ripple effect that comes with the pandemic, but just in life. Because it's like, try to go get a graphics card, a good graphics card, and pay like a reasonable price for it. No one thinks that that's ridiculous at this point in time, in all honesty. That's trying to actively get one, because they understand the metric of the market.
Yeah, I know. And most people's reaction is to get angry about it, or to start criticizing, all that kind of thing. And it's easy to do that.
I do not blame them for it, because it is a arguable metric of the market, but I'm a realist. That is the market. Sorry.
Yeah. But jumping up and down, screaming about it, posting
it doesn't
content and stuff doesn't change anything.
Like, I don't want to pay $1,600 for a 3,900 card.
Yeah,
but if I want one, that's what you have to do right now. But you don't have to do it right now.
Yeah.
So the flux of the market, it's just the nature of the business, and I understand that a lot of people don't understand the true nature of the business where, even with cryptocurrency, it's like cryptocurrency is down, but if you look at 10-year metrics, this is exactly what you would have expected.
I mean, there's a lot of external factors
into things these days. There's no actually determining. But it's like the idea of the mass plunge where engine drops from 379 to, you know, $1.50, and people are like, the network itself is flawed. It's like, no, that's just a nature of the business with cryptocurrency. Like, Ethereum's down. Why would Engine not be down?
Yeah,
Like,
there's a lot of people just focused on price as well.
Yes.
Instead of what the projects are building and that kind of thing.
That's kind of what I'm talking about, where it's like the projects are building hugely profitable industries and have huge projections for being like, Engine was one of the first ones. That's why I had Siacoin big, and then I switched to Engine as my big random investment. And none of this is financial advice. But I would say I believe in what Engine's doing, and Engine was one of the first blockchains that I saw dealing with multiverse. Like, as much as we want to talk about Affinity, Engine was a huge player in that. Like, I have multiple items that are multiverse items that the whole reason why I bought them was because 5 games could use them. Who else was doing that?
I mean, it's a good point. I mean, it goes back to the idea I was saying about that Swissborg event, right? Like, that I got that same way you just said that. It's the same feeling I got back then when I started. You know,
Yes.
For me, COVID had just hit. You know, I wasn't able to play softball or kickball or anything anymore. I wanted some way to be able to get my competitive kicks going,
Yeah.
and then I found a crypto gaming contest, and I was like, okay, let's give it a shot. And then found Lost Relics, and everything else is history.
Same here. I mean, it's
All
like,
right, I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to bail.
No worries, my friend. Thank you so much.
That's all right. I'll hopefully have some more updates soon. I've been very quiet about things just because the magnitude of some of the changes. I don't know where to start when even describing some of them. Some people probably won't notice the effect of those changes. So I got to kind of figure out how I'm going to word it and that kind of thing. But hopefully I'll have an announcement soon about what's happening and just give some more details.
Sounds good.
yeah,
man.
brother.
Yeah, can't wait. Good luck to you, and you know, hope all is going well, and you know, do what you keep doing. You're killing it.
Yes, have a good stream.
We're all followers. Remember, like, yeah, we all love you.
Catch you later, Cliff.
Cheers, guys. See you guys. Bye.
See you, buddy.
Wow. So,
Dude,
where do you want to start? I mean,
I don't know where to start, because like I was about to be like, I didn't want to like bogart and to just like hop in on your stream, but I was like, Cliff's here.
No, you did the right thing. You did.
I'm here. Like,
dude, first
why
off,
wouldn't I start a chat?
Yeah, exactly. First off, I was like, I saw people messaging in game saying Cliffs is in Striker's stream.
Yeah.
So I immediately thought,
I didn't know you were live. I'm subscribed to you, and for some reason it didn't like notify me.
Oh man!
But I saw that and I was like, "Wait, Striker's live?"
Like, I told people that no, it's not true. I was like, "No, I'm listening. I'm listening to a YouTube video with Cliff. He's not actually."
He was like, "Am I not here right now?" Just like, oh snap!
I didn't even get a chance to like look at chat the entire time.
Shit.
I'm sorry, chat.
So, like, I'm sorry. I'm not going to say you. We just got the biggest fucking drop in a long time of information.
Yeah, that was ridiculously huge because I mean, we know, like, we've been talking about co-op for a while now in general, like the players. Man.
But like no one's been defined any definitive terms where it's like, we don't know when this new like update
we didn't
dropped.
Technically know if it was possible. You know,
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I've been preaching for months that I was like, we're gonna get a new town first. Yeah. And that's gonna be the first shared instance. And that's gonna be the test of the network. Because you have to look at a developer's point of view of, you know, you can't just start these systems and launch them. You have to slowly test them because it's a live network rather than a closed testing network.
Exactly. I mean,
but I never thought that it would be like we've definitively been told that once this new update comes out, the next update will include co-op PvP.
And we'll leave a little bit of room in case there's any, in case there's any last minute changes that needs to happen. Yeah. But like in general,
there's
like
a shitload of room, generally speaking, that was said tonight. So all right, so can we just say tonight then, like if we can assume 2v2 PvP is easier than 4v4 PvP.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's definitely fair to say.
If there's 2v2 PvP, like, let's go get some.
Oh, 100%, brother. 100%. Well, no, wait. He said co-op arena, right? So
yeah, that means we're going to be fighting.
Okay, well, I was going to ask him, and I should have asked him, but I didn't. So I know he's used the word arena in the past in different contexts. Yes. I have always assumed when the word arena is used, I always assume that was like endless waves of enemies. I thought that was more like the graveyard event that we had during. That was my assumption. I can be completely wrong. I can be completely
I always
wrong.
took arena as being like me and you are fighting. like we're going to the Coliseum, the arena.
I mean, yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong either. I haven't heard that. I would have thought that my hopes to come from, I feel like I got reinforced, like with co-op PvP being the focus. Co-op, quote, arena PvP being a focus, being like, we can fight each other.
Yeah.
And we can be like, me and you fight someone, or you and someone else fight someone.
The things that pop into my mind is this. We know that sooner or later, Efinity's coming. We know that there's going to be a transition period.
100%.
I'm guessing, from my perspective, the way I see it is kind of like, if co-op is coming, if we have an Easter event coming, and we have Efinity coming, my guess is that Efinity, once it launches, my guess is that these things will come first. Efinity will launch last, for Lost Relics specifically. Then from there, it sounds like we have a fresh new start. He talked about the ideas of all of the he said mistakes, which I wouldn't go as that far as to say that they were mistakes, but
I don't think they're mistakes. I think they're hiccups in what we wanted.
Exactly, and all these unforeseen circumstances that happened over the past few years.
Guilds is a perfect example.
Now Cliff has the ability to reflect on what happened, what could have been done better, and now gets a fresh start to be able to try it again. Hey, level 83 in mining now. Let's go.
Oh, I actually just hit 26 in scavenging.
Very nice, my friend. Level ups are always feel good.
I'll take them.
But yeah, I think that would have to be the case, right?
I wholeheartedly agree. And so one of my buddies worked for a gaming company for 3 years. Mm-hmm. And I used to go over there and just, hang out every now and then. And I understand the process at which development works, and so he spent a whole he built a game of the way he wanted it. Everybody else was like, we want this thing. He said yes. He rebuilt that core system that integrates to every system that he already built, and he's completed it finally. I said 2022 was going to be a year where we would see minor updates that would integrate huge changes into our system.
Yeah, you were dead on.
That perfect example of what I'm talking about, because it's he's finished the core, He doesn't have to worry about goddamn, like, if he wants to make a new environment, guess what? He makes a couple fucking assets and just says do it to the system. Because that's what he's been making, and that's what's there. So every fucking thing that he's been individually catering to for our, like, why don't we have new dungeons? Why don't we have new, like, things and whatever the hell? All of that is now taken care of. And you know what now we're going to see is exactly what he was just talking about that I've been saying I think is going to happen from game production, is that we're going to have a shared instance. Something simple. It's not going to be what we want in the end game, but it's going to be there. And a co-op PvP arena is the biggest new front. And guess what that is? A shared instance for the first time. Once you hit, like, the co-op shared instance is huge to me. Because I would have thought it would have been just a straight PvP shared instance.
Yeah, I look at it from the same perspective you do. I said it during the interview, in the discussion with Cliff. For me, the things that speaks volumes to me as an individual, is the fact that we hit these hurdles. We hit these, like, things that for any other number of projects would have killed the project. Like, honestly, to be quite fair, like, the breaking down of the servers during the Easter event, like, that was bad, and I'm not, it sucked, and there was
a whole week down.
I know. I mean, there's plenty of businesses that I do consulting for that, like, they would not have survived that. Like, you have to look at it from looking at it from a business perspective.
That's what I'm talking about, like, not just a player. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, looking at it from a business perspective, like, there are 3 times during the year that I'm sure Cliff could bank on the fact that there's going to be an increase in revenue. Those are the 3 events, and one of those got swept away. And that,
how much damage does that do?
Exactly. And the fact that he was able to recover in general is the thing that is the most to someone who doesn't understand, like me, who doesn't understand blockchain development or video game development. That's the thing that I see that brings the most value as an individual. Other players, took the opposite perspective. They looked at it like as in this
time to go.
Time to go. Exactly.
It's fine. Like, that's fine.
Yeah, and everybody can have their different perspectives. It is what it is. I've always said from the very beginning that I've always been here for the long run.
I'll say too, like, I've done 50 plus games in the blockchain industry. 50 plus games I've gotten access to that have required funding to actually gain access to, or big games that I've just gotten in on early. Every single one of them, I will say, has some gigantic, huge flaw of it because it's a blockchain game. But one of the things that Lost Relics does not get any credit for is the fact that you can fucking play it.
Yeah.
How many games does this thing get weighed against? Alluvium's going to destroy it. Mirandus is going to destroy it. Ember Swords is going to destroy it. Tell me what the gameplay is like for 4 out of 5 of them. Tell me how your experience went. You don't fucking know because it's not live. Everyone sits here and said, like, Star Atlas is one of the ones that I have the biggest suspicions about. That has, like, they're like, we have 140 people on our team, and we have these huge systems. We're going to make literally EVE Online on the blockchain, and we're gonna have full planet integration and everything. It's like, that sounds fucking sweet. Prove it. They haven't. And everyone wants to be critical when you watch these things. I've been sent, like, multiple videos of people on YouTube being like, Lost Relics is not that great because Ember Swords is going to do this, and they're going to launch with co-op, and they're going to do this thing, and this company is going to do this. Where are they? How can I play them?
Yeah, I mean, look.
Are they live right now? Because Lost Relics has been live for 2 fucking years.
I'm not gonna take anything away from from the developments of those other games or those other
either.
But my thing is just
way to win the metric to judgment.
Yeah, the truth of the matter is, all the discussions about one crypto game ruling them all is not going to be the case. It's just not.
Never.
And the reason why is because we have like what
choice.
Maybe 1 million crypto gamers that are currently playing blockchain games. Maybe. And then on top of that, fair. We have an industry of 2.7 billion gamers. Okay, even if blockchain gaming is 1 to 2% of the entire video game market, which it will definitely be greater. But even if it is, that's a significant amount of growth that's going to be coming in, which means there's going to be a lot of video game development, a lot of players, a lot of guilds. Like, it's just the start.
It literally is, dude. Like, that's my favorite part about this whole creation of wanting to particularly do ANG, where it's like we're the tip of the fucking iceberg right now. And so the ripple effect that can come from being an entity in the blockchain industry, gaming industry right now, like the most popular blockchain person on the fucking planet is CryptoStash. And CryptoStash has less than 100,000 subscribers. The most popular person in gaming has like 65 million subscribers.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten
We're literally
started.
Like, we're the people like exploring the new world.
That's exactly
so
it.
It's like it's fucking perfect for us to get into this industry and make it a realistic thing.
Yeah, from a personal perspective too, like, and granted, like, I'm not your average crypto gamer in general. I'm not your average gamer. Like, I'm like too big of a nerd or whatever. Like, I'm the one who's like going through and trying to learn. The way Cliff said, like, not everyone needs to learn about like video game development. Like, and then they don't. But that's what gets me going, right? I want to learn that stuff. I want to understand what's happening in front of my eyes, like, just the way I think. But like, to see these projects like come to fruition in front of your eyes, like, it's an amazing thing. And
it's crazy, right? We're
only at the way Cliff likes to put it, like, he wanted to build out a core range of basic systems that would be able to interoperate with each other, and then be able to grow from there. Like,
and they're here.
And it's part one.
It's like, that's my thing. Like, this is the biggest, coolest fucking time in the game because they're here. The core systems will be here with this next update. And then after that, all these little accents are going to be so fucking huge. Like, co-op will be an accent. Guys.
Spizzo's hyped.
I'm so hyped, dude. Like, I'm thinking that all the groundwork is in place, and he just needs to now do his thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be 2022 is gonna be huge. And don't get me, we're gonna hit some snags along the round, but it's gonna be huge.
I hit 26 wood cutting just now too.
Nice.
Fitting.
It's crazy because like my out of all the questions I asked, and maybe this one was obviously more geared to me as an individual, but like I really wanted to know what Cliff thought about like entrepreneurship in these games, right? Because the idea here of like an existing pool of shadow stones that is funding play, I guess you could say.
Yes.
Like it's the same thing Axie went through. Like, that is not something that by itself inherently will be able to last forever. In order to make that system grow, there has to be reasons for players to be able to put back into the economy. Because right now the way crypto gaming is working is that the free-to-play model is this idea of you extracting wealth from the game. But in order to like maintain an ecosystem, you have to have people incentivized to be able to put wealth into the game. And what incentivizes that more than the building and the creation of businesses within these virtual worlds? You know, people.
100%.
There's a reason why businesses, when they get started, they operate at a loss for 2 to 5 years. It's because they're putting wealth into a system with the idea of being able to build something that in the future they will be able to benefit from. And that continued growth in this type of world is what funds the Shadowstone Fund or the Treasury, and what will ultimately, if done successfully, which relies on us, will help provide, you know, a strong future for the game beyond gameplay development.
100%, because this is like one of the fundamental reasonings for game development when you put part of your game's economy into the hands of the players. So you truly have a player-based economy.
Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, when you go think about it, if we go back and we look at
wholeheartedly required, yeah,
exactly. And when we look back at the history of economies in video games, and when we think about EVE Online or RuneScape or World of Warcraft, all of those things were successful, and all of them had something uniquely in common. They all had black or gray markets, which where people were building systems that don't have anything to do with the game, but meant to serve the players of the game.
Yes.
And that's what kept them going for so long.
Yeah, that's why Diablo 2 went for so goddamn long.
Exactly.
Like, was because every single ladder update, it was like, what are you going to do? Guess what? There's a new opportunity to make money because you can use a black market. And the only thing that changed is that the black market became the real market.
Exactly. And looking at the chat real quick, you know, F2P Gaming on here saying that it's really important. You know, it's also important when you're considering things like what Sandbox is building, and that's exactly it.
Yes.
You know, because Sandbox, like,
universe.
Yeah, they have the land. They're building out the tools that allow people to do what they, you know, to be able to build what they want to share as a business. That. You know what I mean? Whether it's Roblox or Minecraft. Yeah, it's exactly that's exactly it, you know. And as
whatever they can handle.
And the system feeds back on itself, right?
Dude, and the system perpetuates itself, though. Is like the beauty of it, because it's like once you fund the machine to keep rolling, if people are interested, the machine perpetuates itself, which is essentially what goes on with the Shadowstone market, but particularly with land ownership in a lot of these new games.
Yeah, I mean, you're completely right. You know, he brought up the concept again of land, and neither one of us asked him a question about details on land.
I don't want to push too hard.
Yeah,
like,
I didn't feel.
I always feel it out, where it's like there's tons of people after my interview were like, "Why didn't you ask this? Why didn't you ask this?" Because it was on topic, and it was like, because the room didn't feel right, and I'd rather have 2 interviews than 1 and be done.
Exactly.
Like, so feel the room, and we'll get to there. But I know for a fact that Cliff has talked to me about wanting to start streaming again, and was like, I like your, like, we bullshit the whole time. It's like, maybe we're talking about something official, but 2 minutes later we're talking about nothing. And I was like, yeah, like, when you start streaming, let us go, and we'll literally be like, the first 45 minutes we can talk to you about Lost Relics. The rest is we're just going to shoot the shit.
Yeah, I mean,
why would you want to keep streaming and being like, I just finished working on Lost Relics. Yeah. This is my job full time. Let's stream to relax. Let's talk about fucking Lost Relics. That sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, and also, I mean, Cliff has been, you know, silent for a good amount of time. I mean, I think it would be good just to interact in general with the community, you know? I mean, of course, he's one man. There's only so much you can do, but, you know, it is what it is.
A legend.
So, yeah, man. I mean, I'm extremely excited. You know, the fact that he was able to talk just so eloquently about how the importance of being able to build within the world and letting players build within the world is huge.
I mean, that goes to show the core mentality of it all.
Exactly.
He's here for us. Like, it's not, or I mean, he's here for everyone, which is what blockchain is at this point in time. Anyone that's in this space.
Oh, yeah.
Not the like just general cryptocurrency space, but I guess the utility NFT space. We're all here because we believe in it.
Yep. That's exactly it.
But how are you feeling about hopping back in with new metas? How are you adjusting? I know we've talked about them. What's going on? What are you using?
Oh man. Okay, so I just tried the peppermint Piku for the first time.
Oh.
And oh my god.
Dude,
like my jaw dropped. My jaw dropped. I know I know everyone was saying like it's so good, blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, okay, guys, okay, we'll see.
That's why I said it should be nerfed.
Yeah, it
so good.
But it feels so good. I don't want it to go away. But
dude, I don't
know. Look. What if it doesn't get nerfed hardcore? What if it just gets nerfed a little bit, and then instead of it being a blue rarity, what if it gets bumped up to a legendary rarity and leave it like that? You know what I mean?
I'm so good with that. If it was like 20 seconds instead of 30.
Exactly.
And it's a legendary, done.
Yeah, like
I'm good, baby. I mean, it's still probably one of the best relics in the game. Like, I mean, honestly.
I mean,
like you said, the second you used it, you were like, "Oh shit!"
The entire game. All of a sudden, my runs dropped by 2 minutes each.
Like, yeah, here we go, baby. Like, let's do this.
Like, I'm activating it right now.
Yeah, like, right. That's
just shotgun blasts everywhere.
And it lasts for so long that you can just be like, "I'm gonna run into 3 different rooms and skip harvesting to clear all 3 rooms."
Yeah, and I just drop a blue gram, keep going, killing everything, and then come back.
Yep.
Except I did not do that right now, so
that's fine though. You still got the blue gram.
We still got the blue gram. Yes.
I got the fucking I got the Zilborn for 30,000.
Ooh, that Zilborn's nice, man. It's it applies poison damage, right?
Just under 30,000, yeah. 15% to cause poison damage, but it's a mythic 2-handed axe, so its DPS is, like 630. It's significantly higher than any 2-handed sword in that class. But it was 30,000, and it was 48 the last time. And there's only 175 of them.
Yeah, I mean, if it gets dropped down, it's gotta get nerfed. There's no way. I get it. It's just, hey, for the little amount of time that we have it, it'll be fun. P2P gaming, F2P gaming saying again, it feels a little dirty, but he's not wrong. I should totally go and look at chat.
Oh come on, Moon. That's Moon Cow, or Moo Cow.
Moo Cow.
Is that FTP?
Yeah.
I like how he keeps. He's like one of the only people that uses the fucking Red Knight skin.
Oh, I know. That's one of the ones I've always wanted, but I've never picked up.
No, I'm not paying that price for the metaverse. I was looking at it after. I love the irony where I was like, all right, like I've been in this game long enough. I want to get a skin that like a lot of people don't use. So it's like, oh look, it's Spizzo, and so I got the Jill, the Flamin' Jill.
Oh yeah. For sure.
So I got that one because I was like, no one really uses that one, and so I got it for an obnoxious price because I was like, I'm gonna use this forever now. And then a week later, it was like, here you go, like the Gilded Knight that people can't get.
Oh yeah.
God damn it! Like, all right, well, of course I have to use the Gilded Knight now.
Of course. That's how it works.
But it works really well with my Zilborn now. The gold and the green aura.
Oh yeah, that's true. It looks good.
But I don't have my
You ever think Cliff would let like players build their own Unity assets that could be put into the game? Like cosmetics, like skins?
I feel like with in-game relic creation, there is an endless supply of potential. Because I would love that too. Like my favorite one was, I thought of the exact same thing, and I was like, not even an aesthetic, just the title.
Yeah.
Where like
yeah, even the title would be cool.
Or it'd be like, I think Striker should be called this, and
I want a cool
put
title.
it out to there and be like, yeah, like Striker's like the Bank of Talmouth. Fucking everything.
Oh man.
And that's just what your title becomes.
What's it called from Game of Thrones? What's it called? The Iron Bank? Is that it?
The Iron Bank, yeah. You would be like, yeah.
No, I don't know.
Like just something hilarious like that, like Inquisitioner of the Iron Bank. Something fitting to the time period.
That's
and just
funny,
be like,
man.
you're just the holder of everything.
That's funny.
I feel like that's why I got the governor of giveaways, because it just sounded fine for the.
For sure, man.
For like
sure.
the whole thing of everything.
I think that I think it's gonna be. Oh man, I just lost my train of thought because I had to kill that guy.
It was like titles.
Oh yeah, the titles. Yeah, I don't know. Because
what would your favorite title be? What would you want to be?
I have no clue, bro. I have no clue. I have a feeling that if it's any title that someone gives me, other than my that if I don't pick it, that I'm gonna be like, oh, I don't really like that.
All right, I'm gonna come up with that.
Come up with 3, bro, and then let me pick or something.
Come up
like
with
that.
3 and make
Come with 3
yeah,
and let me pick.
Come on.
We'll figure something out. But they were saying here in chat right now about the idea, because I had mentioned it before, and it kind of plays around with the idea of guilds or whatever. But like, dude, how cool would it freaking be if we went into co-op? We went into co-op arena mode or whatever, and we both had our stashes that we're able to share with each other to like create a loadout.
Oh, like a clan.
Yeah. In general, like. That would be really cool.
That would be really sweet, actually. That would be so unfair.
I mean,
you want to stack. I'd be like, oh look, 1 of 10 players.
Or on that idea, like even a mode where Cliff is just like, look, well, see, I don't know. I mean, in general, like, here's where you could pick any 5 items of the entire game. Have at it to play this mode. Like. You don't technically get to use it anywhere else in the game, but for this one mode, you build your loadout.
Were you around for Friday Night Fist Fight?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, so Friday Night Fist Fight was an event I held for $100 to the victor in engine coin. And everyone was not able to use a primary or a secondary weapon. You were allowed to use armor pertaining to the dungeon level that you were doing. You were able to use 2 gray rejuve rings, 2 green rejuve rings, and that was it. And then, 3 fish that equaled out to 150 health, and that was it. And it was how far could you get from dungeon 1 on, and every dungeon you could recoup these items. But so the whole point of it was to start to, because Cantaloupe Run like inspired me, and I was like, I want to do something like that, but I know PvP is going to be coming, and I want to host a Friday night fist fight every Friday on PvP, and it would self-sustain. And the way it would self-sustain is people enter in by being like 50 Shadow Stones or 5 Shadow Stones or whatever to get in. Because it's J-Eng. It doesn't cost anything. I'll give 1 engine to support 2 months of this thing. And whoever wins gets all of the engine. And we would stream the fights. But Friday Night Fist Fight, because there was no actual PvP, was how far could you get? And 2 players made it to, surprisingly, was it 1, 2, 3, 4? They made it to Vism
Vaults?
Vism Vaults with just their fists.
That's cool. I mean, I like that type of community interaction. I mean, I think it's
so.
Really cool.
I did some event like that, but it was all leading towards PvP, where every week I could just set someone in charge of it and be like, ANG runs this. Like, yeah, here you can get. I'll give you 5 Shadow Stones a week to run it.
Exactly.
And we'll just record it. But yeah, it's like that's super exciting to be like PvP is coming.
I don't know. I still think it's gonna be co-op wave based.
Dude, do you think that we are actually gonna get a separate server at this point in time for?
Yeah, that's really what he said right there about there may be a system that he can implement to allow like lagless free play across the globe. Like what? I'm gonna Google that. I'm gonna Google that as soon as we get done. Well, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut up this stream.
Well, isn't Polkadot a under 1 second across the globe multiple transaction network?
Yeah, but see, the thing is, like, I think with Polkadot, it's only like sending and receiving. Like, I think that the complexity of the transaction is like sending an email, where it's sending messages back and forth to each other, which is different than sending a stream of information.
Yes. I just like give it the benefit of the doubt of if Cliff said it is true, and
I think what he meant.
I know it's that fast then.
My first guess was to go read up and research a little bit about the Microsoft Azure platform and the services, the anti-cheat services that it provides. But that was my first thought. I could be completely wrong.
Using Pandemic Pete?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I gotta love Pandemic Pete, baby.
Where did you get that fucker?
I got him from the release of the NFT. It was Halloween 2020. Halloween 2020.
That is not a skin that was released officially. And again, why is it so all right? God
Actually, it released when he sold it. It was a man inside a yellow hazmat suit. Looked a lot like a Breaking Bad type of hazmat suit. And then in the middle of Halloween, it just evolved into this demon flying wings. So
I've seen images of that.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. But
that's fucking funny. So you just got it. So this was like the like what we got. That was grumpy ass name. The Night Lurker.
The Night Lurker. Oh yeah, the Night Lurker. Exactly. Except the Night Lurker didn't change, right? Like that was the cosmetic look from the very beginning.
There. Yeah, it was 225 though. That's what I've been looking at. That's why I bought that Zilborn tonight.
Oh yeah.
It's like there's only 175 of them, and the one that I was offering up the exact same price for, there's 222 of them, with still 195 being able to be found.
Yeah, that was one of the first mythicals I got.
Yeah, and 47 only left. And I get higher damage. It's been nice. It's slow as shit, but it's an axe.
Yep.
But
how long do you think we were speaking with Cliff?
Hour and a half at least.
You think so? You think it was that long?
Yeah.
I thought it was like 45 minutes, but maybe it was just because it was
like
time was
every
flying.
time I'm with Cliff, it feels like that's what I would have said. It felt like 45 minutes, but it probably was an hour and a half. Knowing how I've talked with Cliff, where it's like, let's talk for an hour. Oh look, it's been an hour 45. Let me let you go.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to wrap up the stream right now. Once I finish this run, but I'm gonna definitely get to cutting up that YouTube video and then reposting it.
We started the group at 7:18 p.m.
Cool.
It's 9:06.
So many questions.
So hour 45 probably. Yeah.
We just did that off the cuff. I was like, okay, what are the most important things that are on my mind that I feel comfortable asking? It
was like, at first I was like, I don't want to bogart into strikers.
Well, I'm happy you did.
But I was like, Cliff is here. Let me see if I can get all of us into a group. I'll just invite us all without talking to anybody.
Oh,
it was like worked. Cliff joined, and I was like, if Cliff joined, Striker will join.
Nicely done, my friend. Nicely done. But that's definitely going to have to be it for right now because I got to go run some errands. I hope I'm going to be able to play a little bit more tonight, but I'm going to have to take some time right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna peace out. I'm gonna eat some dinner and then I'll probably start streaming actually.
Sounds good, brother. If I get back on the computer, I'll jump in your voice chat.
Definitely, dude.
Okay, brother.
All right, man.
Thanks.
Happy hunting.
Catch you later.
Oh yeah. See ya.
Peace. Yeah, man. Woo, what a crazy impromptu interview with Cliff. Didn't expect it to happen. Didn't expect it to go down. Really didn't think that Cliff was going to be able to give that huge of a breakdown. So I'm gonna go take care of some things. I'll definitely get the video. I'll try to clean up the video a little bit, clip it to where it's just that section so that we can repost it. That way you guys can share. But do me a favor, guys, if you can, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. The goal of the channel right now is I want to get up to 1,000 subs so we can take everything to the next level, be able to use some of those monetization items there to be able to help the progression of the channel, and hopefully start doing some more intriguing events that I have been working in the back of my mind. So for right now, that's going to be it for me. Striker's going to be signing off. Good luck with the bounties. Amazing news. So tune in, and I will catch you all next